Stadium in New York City, the Kansas City Royals and the New York Yankees. In game number 3 of the 1978 American League Championship Series.
Sam, you've been, quite frankly, having a hard time of it. Nobody knows better than you. You told me the other day, of course, I'm injured. I'm not in top form. You remember that. Exactly what is the nature of your problem?
Well, Howard, you know, we don't develop problems too often. I've had problems. You know, I have problems, with my legs from spring training on. I've had some rib problems. I've had some arm problems, and I just think there's a bunch of things collectively that have hurt me. I am taking treatment for a problem now that's hurting me, quite a bit. But let's face it. You said at the start of this thing that we're professionals, and the only thing you can do is you go out and you play as hard as you can. You have to play hurt sometimes. You have to play with needles in you. You have to play with pills in you sometimes. You just have to go out and try to play the game of baseball to win, and that's what we do, and that's the way I play.
Have you been upset by the talk of the Yankees trying to trade you?
Well, the only thing that upsets you is, for 3 or 4 years, I had some problems, with the management and money-wise, as far as quite a few other things. I wanted to get home to my family in Canton, Ohio. I asked to be traded to Cleveland, but didn't seem to work out too well, and all of a sudden I have a year where I battle back from an injury in spring training. I keep getting hurt all year, and then boom, it's just thrown in my face. It's not nice sometimes. Al Rosen assured me the other day that there wasn't any talk, but I heard it last spring training. I heard it from a Pittsburgh scout the other day who asked me if I would be willing to play for Pittsburgh. Do I need an operation? Do you need this? Do you need that? And then I heard it the other day in a playoff game. So somebody's been talking somewhere. I don't know who, but someone's been saying something.
Would you still like to be traded, especially to Cleveland?
I'm not saying that I'd like to be traded hard. I don't know how many more years I'm going to play, to tell you the truth. I have been pretty beat up, the last couple of years, and I'm kind of getting toward the end of my career. Would I like to be traded to Cleveland? The answer to that is still yes. I would like to go home. I'd like to be able to play ball for a couple years in front of my friends. I was home with my children yesterday, and I would just definitely like to be with them. I have business there. I have a home that you used to drive by, and the answer to that question, Cleveland, yes, I would definitely like to go there.
Does this divide your concentration during the current quest for the pennant?
No, I don't think so. When you walk out in the baseball field, my job is to play baseball, and the only thing that has really taken away from my concentration is my injuries. When you walk out there, and a lot of times, you just can't do something. I hit a ball the other day. Had I been healthy, the ball would have been way out of the ballpark. I ended up, making a last out of the inning and taking a solid rally. And it's just, when you go out there and, you try to play as hard as you can, you can do something, but physically you're not capable of it. That bothers you. As far as business reasons or a lot of other things, no, that doesn't run into my playing ball.
I just read your new book. I think it's excellent. You were very candid about Reggie Jackson. As a result of what's been printed there, what's your relationship with Jackson now?
Well, I have never, knocked Reggie's ability. I've told people many times, who has better stats in the major leagues, than Reggie Jackson over the last 8 or 9 years. I think he's an intelligent man. I think there's a lot of things that he can do. I think that he could be much better liked if he really worked at it, than he is. Reggie and I get along well. I actually like the man. I'm actually a little bit like him in some respects, and it's just a shame that things got started off and got hammered the wrong way. I would like to say, in defense of my book, I think everybody thought I was going to come out and rip Reggie and rip Steinbrenner and stuff. I didn't try to rip anybody. I just kind of told it like I saw it, and
good luck to you today.
Thank you.
more promising as the Royals and the Yankees move to New York for Game 3 with a series all even at 1-1. And this ABC Sports Exclusive is brought to you by Chevrolet and Chevrolet dealers coast to coast. And by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Well, with this series all even at 1-1, everybody for the last 24 or 48 hours have been wondering which team would have the advantage here at Yankee Stadium. Personally, I think it has to belong to the Yankees. Two reasons. One, they are at home. They sleep in their own beds and eat at their own tables, and they play on real dirt and real grass at Yankee Stadium, and it is a different kind of a game that must be played in contrast to the artificial surface that is used in Kansas City. But those things we'll determine as we wear along here. Right now, let me introduce you to Mr. Howard Cosell and his comments for Game 3.
Thank you very much, Keith. Already, Keith has touched on one of the essential factors in this contest, the fact that Kansas City excels on the slick artificial turf that exists in Royal Stadium in Kansas City. The Yankees are back on natural grass. There is another apparent Yankee advantage in pitching. Apparent because it has to be proved on the field. Catfish Hunter today, Ron Guidry tomorrow. Nonetheless, offsetting that, Paul Splithoff, a longtime Yankee nemesis, though not so this year, will be opposing the Yankees, who've shown a vulnerability to relatively slow-balling curveballers who can mix it up from the southpaw side. Witness Rick Waits and witness Larry Gura in this very series. The Yankees have their own handicaps. One is the continuing absence of the best athlete on the team, Willie Randolph, and the other, of course, is the battered condition of the captain and the club professional, Thurman Munson. And so, as the crowd begins to roar, another Yankee advantage comes into play, the enthusiasm of the home fans. But right now, I'd like to bring in the young gentleman who is making you all aware, A, of his mental prowess, and B, of his vocal prowess, the ace pitcher of the Birds of Baltimore, Mr. Jim Palmer. And what a delight to be with you again, Jim. Your analysis, if you will, of A, Catfish Hunter, and B, Paul Splithoff.
Well, Catfish Hunter has been pitching very well. He started out the year with a shoulder problem, was on the disabled list twice. Came back. He's won 9 out of his 11 decisions, pitched very poorly, probably the biggest game of the year, the one they needed to win last Sunday against Cleveland, but only had 3 days rest instead of his normal 4. A money pitcher. He's 4-2 in the playoffs, 4-3 in the World Series. Couldn't think of a better pitcher to have out there if you needed to win a big game. On the other hand, Paul Splithoff has pitched extremely well against the Yankees in the playoffs. This year, I was talking to him, he said, instead of beating the Yankees during the season, he got Boston out. But changes speeds, he's a left-handed pitcher that can give the Yankees trouble, has a good fastball, a curveball, a slider, not a real good changeup. But I think 119 games for the Royals, and again, he's a good pitcher and he's tough in the playoffs.
Now, very carefully, I noted that you said Splithoff has been tough against the Yankees in the playoffs. True statement. But also, career-wise, Splithoff has been very effective against the Yankees. But in the regular season this year, only 0-2. That's a fact.
Well, it is. I think it would hurt his confidence. A lot of times, the way you pitch during the season will give you confidence if you do a good job. But this year, he struggled. Yeah, I guess he's been pitching well. He's won 8 out of his last 12 games, so it should be a good ball game.
Very well indeed. Let's go back to Keith Jackson now, folks, and we'll have the player introductions. Keith?
The starting lineup for the two teams, the public address announcer here at Yankee Stadium, longtime veteran Mr. Bob Shepard.
In Game 3. Here's the Royals manager, Whitey Herzog. At third base, number 5, George Brett. The designated hitter, number 11, Al McRae. The center fielder, number 26, Amos Otis. The catcher, number 15, Darrell Porter. At first base, number 8, Pete Lecoq. In left field, number 9, Clint Hurdle. In right field, number 18, Al Cowens. At shortstop, number 2, Fred Pate. The second baseman, number 20, Frank White. And today's starting pitcher, warming up in the bullpen, number 34, Paul Splitall. And here's the Yankee manager, Bob Lemon. The center fielder, number 17, Mickey Rivers. The left fielder, number 6, Roy White. The catcher, number 15, Herman Munson. The designated hitter, number 44, Reggie Jackson. In right field, number 14, Lou Piniella. At third base, number 9, Craig Nettles. At first base, number 10, Chris Chambliss. At second base, number 11, Fred Stanley. At shortstop, number 20, Bucky Dent. And today's starting pitcher, warming up in the bullpen, number 29, Jim Catfish Hunter. Will you please stand? Salute the colors as presented by the United States Navy Color Guard, and join with the great Robert Merrill as we honor America with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts we watched was so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave on the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Oh, I'll tell you, if that doesn't get your attention and send chills up your back, nothing will. And that's what Freddie Patek was talking about as the crowd roared every time a Yankee name was mentioned. They're kicking the walls and making all kinds of noise. We're getting close to the beginning of game number 3.
When you go shopping, you go to a supermarket. But did you ever wonder where giant industry shop? When industry goes shopping for firefighting systems, for automotive components, for true temper golf shafts, for stainless steel, they shop at one place. The place? Allegheny Ludlam Industries. The supermarket.
From blazing heat to paralyzing cold, season after season, the J.C. Penney battery has the power to start your car over and over, year in and year out. And it never needs water, ever. It's so dependable, it's warranted for as long as you own your car. If it ever fails to accept and hold a charge, return it with proof of purchase. We'll replace it, free. It's the last battery your car will ever need.
Oh no, he's home.
A kiss goodbye?
You must go. And besides, your beard, it's rough.
Then I'll shave.
There's no time.
I'll use this Rise with 3 softeners.
Rise will start to soak and soften my whiskers in no time.
See? Rise helps me get a close shave, quick.
You're smooth, Eddie, and so quick. Father, how about a close shave?
Rise for a quick, close shave.
I'm delighted to join the National League here tonight in saluting Wally Fingers as its #1 relief pitcher and winner of the Rolade Relief Man Award trophy. With me is Dave Pettigrew of the Warner Limit Company, who will make the presentation. Dave?
Thank you, Hoyt. Congratulations to you, Raleigh, on being the outstanding relief hitter in the National League. Actually, the trophy is not new to you, having won it last year. But I think the fact that you've had back-to-back years really shows your ability to put fires out on the mound and real coolness under pressure. So our congratulations to you.
Thank you, Dave.
The preceding was a message on behalf of Major League Baseball.
At home plate, ladies and gentlemen, the former American League president and Hall of Famer, Mr. Joe Cronin, presenting today to 2 outstanding players recognition for their significant baseball achievements of 1978. Jim Rice of the Boston Red Sox and Ron Guidry, the great left-hander for the New York Yankees. Guidry with a record of 25-3 this year. Jim Rice, who hit .315, 46 home runs, 139 runs batted in, 406 total bases. First man to pass 400 since 1937 when DiMaggio did it. Guidry, 25-3 on the year. Earned run average 174, and the best winning percentage for a pitcher ever in the American League. A pitcher who had won 20 or more games. So 2 young men who truly had their all-time achievements, at least to this point in their careers, but they are both still young. Right now, let's swing our attention back to today's ball game as Catfish Hunter makes his way in from the bullpen. Before the game, Howard Cosell talked to Yankee pitching coach Clyde King about the rehabilitation.
Clyde Catfish Hunter had reached a point of no return with his damaged arm. You, as Yankee pitching troubleshooter, went to his home. Detail for us what happened.
Yes, I went down a couple days after Christmas, Howard, and spent 3 days with Helen and Jimmy. We looked at old pictures of his Oakland days when he was pitching well. Helen, Jimmy, and my wife Norma and I spent over an hour in his attic looking for those pictures. Helen was down on her hands and knees, and we came up with pictures, action pictures that I saw the angle of delivery when Jimmy was pitching well. I compared them to what I had seen at the end of the season. We went back down to Catfish's den and we talked about it. And when I got up and showed him what he was doing and what he had been doing in his good years, he immediately related to it. He changed and had an impression in his mind as to what he needed to do, and he has just gone from there. And of course, his head and arm are coordinated now with his leg kick and his body motion, and I think that has helped to relieve the pain. He's thrown with good control and much better velocity, and you know the results.
Now, Clyde, didn't Dr. Maurice Cowens, the orthopedic man, make a shoulder adjustment that also helped?
Absolutely, Howard. He certainly did. It relieved the pain entirely, and Catfish was convinced that he could come back, and he has.
Some pregame comments of Clyde King, who has suddenly become very important within the structure of the New York Yankee organization relative to the progress of the pitching corps, and the most recent development being the work with Catfish Hunter. Now the ceremonial first pitch in this game today is dedicated to the men and women of the New York City Police and Fire Departments, and throwing out the ceremonial first pitches today will be the Police Commissioner Robert McGuire and the Fire Commissioner Augustus Beekman.
Minute of the day, and often they are called upon to make the supreme sacrifice for the people they serve. At the Yankee dugout, joining us in honoring our police and firefighters are the New York City Police Commissioner Robert McGuire and the Fire Commissioner Augustus Beekman. The Yankees are proud to ask all of you to join us in a fine ovation for the police and firemen of this great city and this great nation, the finest and the bravest.
We're about ready to go as the Yankees take the field. The Yankees in the home white uniforms with the pinstripes very obvious as Jim Hunter goes striding to the mound. And over a career that has included so many great games, this could be one of the more important games for Jim, as he perhaps works toward the shadows of that career. Looking at the defense, it is Roy White in left field. He's been there a long time. He's the senior member of the Yankee playing roster. Mickey Rivers is in center field, still playing with a sore hip that bothers his legs. In right field, it is Lou Piniella, who slept late today and is very relaxed. Inside on the infield, at third base, it is Greg Nettles, who's played so well so far in the series. At shortstop, it is Bucky Dent, who played such a major role in getting the Yankees into this playoff series against Kansas City. At second base, with the left-hander on the mound, Fred Stanley, who usually plays a shortstop. Today is at second because of the injury to Willie Randolph. At first base, it is Chris Chambliss, whose bat may become a big important weapon for New York before it's done here at Yankee Stadium. Back of the plate, it is Thurman Munson doing the catching, and on the mound, Jim Catfish Hunter.
Keith, in the two previous telecasts, Jim Palmer has constantly emphasized that the first inning is the most difficult inning for a pitcher. This has been particularly true of Catfish, even with his great comeback in which he won 9 out of 10 going into that final Sunday regularly scheduled game against Cleveland, when unaccountably to some he couldn't get the Indians out. But you can observe Hunter closely, Jim, in the first inning and get a sense of where he's at, don't you think?
Well, you sure can, Howard. Basically, he's a fastball pitcher and he throws a slider, but if he doesn't get the ball where he wants to, he is not going to win. That's just as simple as that, because he doesn't throw like he used to. Not many people do when you pitch 3,300 innings like he has.
Amplified in the simple set of numbers. 12 of the 16 home runs given by Catfish Hunter this season have come in his first 2 innings of pitching.
There you have it.
George Brett will lead off. Hal McRae will follow. Amos Otis, the number 3 hitter. This is the same lineup that won on Wednesday 10-4, and Brett hits it high in the air. Munson peels the mask and comes racing back. And it is just out of play. We're going to have some fun today, I am sure, because the big jocular man back of the plate is Ron Luciano. The Kansas City lineup, the 3 men I mentioned. Then you go to number 4, Darrell Porter, followed by Pete Lecoq, Clint Hurdle, Al Cowens, Patek, and White. It was the bottom 4 in that batting order that got Kansas City rolling at the Royals home park in the second game.
Was Luciano walking the Hudson River this morning, watching birds?
I don't know. Hunter with a 1-strike count. on George Brett, the Royals' third baseman, and that pitch is up high.
I meant the banks of the Hudson, of course.
Well, not necessarily. That pitch is hit high in the air and deep to right. It is gone in the upper deck for Brett.
It's always nice to brief you folks in advance. Very thing we were talking about.
Well, he's thrown 2 high pitches before, and that ball is right down the middle of the plate. And I don't think he's throwing really very well now. He's just doesn't have that good velocity. And when you pitch up there, you got to have good velocity.
That pitch is in for a strike. During his career in the regular season, Catfish Hunter has given up 359 home runs. Hal McRae hits it high, and it comes back. Thurman has a look, and it's on the screen, out of play. George Brett received by his teammates in the dugout as the Royals lead 1-0.
The thing about Hunter is he has been one of the great clutch pitchers of all time. And if he can get by the first inning, he usually settles down.
McRae hits it to right field. Piniella coming toward the line makes the catch for out number 1. Now Hunter will pitch to Amos Otis with Darrell Porter moving to the on-deck circle, and the sun comes out quite bright. The weather forecast for the weekend, cooling and drier weather. So as the rain moves out, the high moves in, and hopefully we'll have good dry weather through Sunday if necessary. Games 4 and 5 are scheduled for tomorrow night and Sunday night if we have to play 5. And knowing the history of these two teams and the kind of games they play against each other, it seems likely that we will play Sunday. The pitch is high and away from Amos Otis, who's 3 for 7 in the series with 1 run batted in. Whitey Herzog, the Kansas City manager. High and outside again. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
He continues to be high, and he is what you would call a placement or location pitcher, Jim.
Well, he is. He's always been a high ball pitcher, but he got McRae out on a high pitch, but the ball was inside. Looks like he's just trying to get ahead of the hitters.
Pops him up, and it comes back and onto the screen, out of play.
That ball was up, but it was in, so it's not a bad pitch. Catfish, I think, pitches a lot like I do, where he tries to get ahead with his fastball, and then when he does get ahead, he goes in and out. And the one thing he will do, he will challenge you. That's why he's thrown as many home runs as he has. Doesn't walk too many guys, but when he does give up home runs, usually they're with nobody on, especially if it's a leadoff hitter of the game.
The pitch is outside, and that time looked to be right about the knees. It's now a count of 3-1. Just shaving the corner. Foul back. 3-2. Let's see where Munson sets up as Bob Lemon sits in the dugout. Brett's leadoff home run, giving the Royals the early lead, 1-0. 3-2 pitch to Otis. Hit on the ground. Stanley flags it down. Freddie throws on a bounce. No, not quite in time. Good speed from Otis.
That's one of the many fine qualities in Amos Otis as a ball player. As you look at it again, a fine play by Stanley. Prostrate, he quickly gets to his feet, throws. But the trademark I was talking about of Amos Otis is that from the right side, he gets down with exceptional speed to first base.
Otis, with that speed, representing the possibility of running for Kansas City as Darrell Porter comes to the plate.
Now, Hunter is far superior to previous Yankee pitchers like Beatty and Tidrow in holding the runner to first. He's not a high kick pitcher.
Porter, green lighted on the first pitch, swings and misses on a fastball that was thrown quite high.
You'll vouchsafe that, I trust, Jim.
Certainly, but they're going to run on Munson because his arm is bothering him. and they won't run on catfish. The key, as I said the other day, to holding a runner on is, number one, you have to make them stop, not let them get a running lead, and number two, you have to get rid of the ball quickly. Hunter's been around long enough to do both of those things.
1-1 the count, 1 out, 1 on, and 1 in. Two and 1. Kid Clay is in the bullpen.
Hunter will want particularly to be aware of that runner to protect Munson's damaged shoulder.
Well, definitely. He knows that Thurman's not throwing like he did earlier in the year.
That's right in there. Slider, 2 and 2. There's Clay, just in case. Remember him? He backed up the 24-year-old starter Beatty in the first game and pitched no-hit ball.
But you have a situation here that he's probably not running. He probably will be now, but because you have the hole at first.
Amos goes. Ball gets loose at the plate. Otis is on second base.
It's a torturous time, excuse me, for Thurman Munson. Those of you who saw the pregame show saw my talk with Thurman. He feels he's being humiliated, and there's nothing he can do about it. And he is a prideful professional.
Foul. Full count now, 3 and 2. Otis has now stolen 4 bases in this playoff series. Ball is fouled off again by Porter. With 1 out, 3-2 pitch is hit high in the air to right center field. Rivers is right there. Otis tags at second. He's going. The throw. Good throw. He's out.
Now that's what Jim Palmer and I were talking about in a prior telecast. The fact that Rivers' arm is underrated. The release is so quick and the accuracy is there that he can fool you. Kansas City, a running club with great team speed. Otis, a great base runner, thrown out on a fine peg by Mickey Rivers. So there it is. We'll be right back.
Your cooling system was corroded. That'll be $76 for parts, $28 for labor. What? You should have kept your guard up.
My radiator's steaming. I need a tow.
Should have kept your guard up.
When winter hits, keep your guard up. Installed properly, DowGuard antifreeze protects against corrosion. And DowGuard guards your car down to 34 below. DowGuard antifreeze.
Take it from me. Keep your guard up.
Our customers have to have cars that are more fuel efficient.
Fred Porter, Vehicle Systems Engineering. This is who we are and what we do at General Motors.
We're working on a car for the 1980s that will have equal comfort and value to the customer at 30% better fuel economy than the car that it replaces. And to do that, we have to reduce the weight, optimize all the systems of the engine, minimize aerodynamic drag and tire rolling resistance and so on. The cost on this project is staggering, like $2 billion. This is an exciting business, especially in these times. The challenges are immense, and I believe we're way ahead. Yes, General Motors can do it.
General Motors, people building transportation to serve people.
The Kansas City defense, the outfielders, Hurdle, Otis, Cowens. Inside, it is Brett, Artek, White, Lecoq, quarterback of the plate, and Paul Splitoff with a record of 19 and 13 on the mound. Used to call him a Yankee killer, but this year he had 2 losses and 2 no decisions against New York. For the Yankees coming to the plate, it's Rivers to lead it off. Mickey up there. And Roy White will follow with Thurman Munson, the third scheduled batter. Reggie Jackson is the designated hitter today, and it's strike 1 on Mickey. Ball 1. Paul Splitoff might well have opened the series, except his dad passed away last week, and he was put number 3 in the pitching rotation against the Yankees by Whitey Herzog. The ball is pulled to right field. And most importantly, let me say this, as the ball is picked up by the right fielder Cowens, when Mickey Rivers left the plate, he was obviously hobbling. He took 3 steps and obviously is working with a very sore hip and leg. The New York batting order, there it is. With Jackson, you see the DH and Piniella in right field. Rivers, White, Munson, Jackson, Piniella, Nettles, Chandler, Stanley, and Dent.
I think it should be noted that Rivers is playing hurt, and he made a great throw in the very first inning. I want to make the point because the management has often been at odds with him. As you looked at a call ball for presumably not hustling.
Roy White, 2 for 8 in the playoff series against Paul Splitoff, making his first start. That's hit on the ground to the second baseman White. Contact for 1, back to first, 2.
That's where Thurman, of course, that was Roy White, forgive me. But that's where the Yankees have really been hurting because the man coming up had been batting second, and he was 1 for 10. And that's why White was put in to bat second, in point of fact.
Munson in the number 3 position today. He had been at the number 2 spot previously. Roy did get it on the ground to the right side, but White had him played perfectly. 2 out. Royals lead 1-0, and Munson hits it high in the air to right field. Cowens drifts over and makes the catch, and the inning is over. So, after the first inning of play in game number 3 here at Yankee Stadium, it's 1-0 Kansas City.
The big news for '79 is from Chevrolet. The new Chevy Monza 2+2 hatchback. It's more car for less money and a lot more kicks. Now, standard equipment includes tinted glass, AM radio, shift console, sport steering wheel, white striped tires, body side molding, bucket seats, carpeting, a hatchback, and more. All standard and all for less than what last year's Chevy Monza 2+2 would have cost with the same equipment. That's more car, more kicks for less money. New Chevy Monza.
When you farm your own land, the work never ends. But you do it with pride and all the strength you can muster. But now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. Beer after beer. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller Beer.
A dripping faucet is enough to drive a man out of the house.
Going somewhere, Fred?
And there's a way to solve the problem once and for all. The washerless, peerless faucet. It comes with recorded instructions and step-by-step illustrated instructions so that you can install one all by yourself and know you're doing it right.
Going somewhere, Fred?
Do-it-yourself peerless faucets for kitchen and bath.
For Kansas City in the top of the second inning, the first baseman Pete Lecoq, then comes Clint Hurdle and Al Cowens as Brett led off the game for the Royals with a home run. High, deep fly ball to the upper deck at Yankee Stadium. Here's another fellow with plenty of power, though he's yet to get the long ball in this series.
Pete Lecoq, first base.
There's the percentage breakdown of the point that we made relative to Catfish Hunter, giving up so many home runs in his first 2 innings of pitching. Lecoq fouls it into the crowd on the left side upper deck.
This will be the definitive inning for Catfish. If he can get through this inning without being scored upon, you can expect a fine game from him.
1 ball and 1 strike to Pete Lecoq, who came over from Chicago on what amounted to a trade involving the Mets, Kansas City, and the Cubs, and that's fouled away. The Mets had originally swapped Jim Dwyer to Kansas City for Sheldon Mallory, but the Cubs wanted Dwyer, so they sent to Kansas City a young man named Lecoq. Suddenly he gets together with Whitey Herzog, and under his tutelage he grows up and has become a very fine Major League Baseball player.
He's a tough out, Keith. As you can see, Catfish is trying to keep the ball away from him for obvious reasons. If you saw the game the other day, he hit a low inside pitch for a double down the right field line. There's a lot of room in left field and center field here in Yankee Stadium.
That's foul back again. Count is 1-2.
Until that double, Pete had been hitless in the series. He followed that double with a runs batted in single to center. So he's feeling pretty good about himself at the moment.
Two and two. Close.
Well, here's just, like I said, an outside fastball, and it looks like it just tailed outside. Obviously, he wants it.
Foul tip. Thurman couldn't quite hold it at the plate. Here at Yankee Stadium, left field this time of the day is the Sun Field. I mean, it's tough.
It'll be a very important factor in this ball game as the shadows lengthen.
Fouled away again.
Notoriously, left field has been tough in Yankee Stadium through all of the years. And yet some of the great plays in baseball history have been made out there. Witness the '55 World Series when the Dodgers beat the Yankees. The 7th game saved by Amorous.
Again fouled away. Well, Pete's giving the folks up in the upper deck on the left side a lot of souvenirs.
Ron Luciano ran out of baseballs.
Just to refresh memories, Keith, that was when Berra hit the long drive down the left field foul line. Amorous made a one-handed grab of it in the very corner. Had he been a right-hander, he probably couldn't have made that catch.
Steve Burrows coaching at first for Kansas City. Chuck Hiller at third. 2-2 pitch to Pete Lecoq. He's hit to right center field and hit deep. It's going to be in there for a base hit. Outfield a little bit wet, but Lecoq is banging away, and he goes into second on his tummy. Double for Pete. And again, Mickey Rivers had plenty of steam on the throw in and was on the money.
So once again, Hunter is quickly in trouble. The leadoff man the first inning with a home run. The leadoff man the second inning with a double. Clint Hurdle up, who went 2 for 3 yesterday, replacing Steve Braun in the lineup. Clint Hurdle, who was not a big hitter as a rookie and who showed major weaknesses, but the Yankees have been pitching to his strengths.
Well, here's another example when he's going to be trying to pull the ball and Catfish is going to be throwing him fastballs away, and we'll see who wins this battle.
First pitch is fouled up back to the screen off the top of the glove of Thurman Munson. If you get it inside, this big kid can lose it, though. I'll tell you that. There's a strike.
He has enormous strength, but because he likes the pitch, as we said Wednesday, a little below the belt on the inside half of the plate, he's vulnerable to the outside.
Just missed. It's 1-2. Lecoq on second base, having led off with a double. Kansas City leading on George Brett's game leadoff home run. Royals now with 3 hits. The Yankees have 1. High fly ball drifting out into left center field, and it's Rivers calling. Mickey had the better angle. They're going to test his arm again. Lecoq going to third. He's in there. Rivers had drifted over. His left shoulder was pointed toward the infield as he was trying to keep turned away from the bright sun in order to make the throw back into third base. He had to pivot. Didn't quite have enough opportunity to get a hard throw in, and Lecoq advances from second over to third.
Well, there's a hidden Yankee weakness there, too, because Roy White is not a good thrower. He does not have a good arm. In fact, he has a weak arm. So there was no way under any circumstances White was going to catch that ball. While Rivers doesn't have a great arm, it's much better than White's.
The infield is up now with Lecoq at third and Al Cowens, the hitter, and Hunter misses outside and low ball 1. See the infielders playing up with only 1 out. Hit sharply to Nettles at third. Holds the runner and throws 2 out.
That was a great play, Jim. He covered the line on Cowens. He left the area between third and short relatively open. He had him played exactly right according to the way Hunter pitched it.
Well, last year, Al Cowens was, I think, second in the MVP voting. He had 23 home runs, 118 RBIs. Everybody threw him hard stuff. That was a slider. It was down in the strike zone. And everybody, I talked to Charlie Lau, they said they've really changed their philosophy on pitching him this year. And he had the injury with his knee, but he just hasn't had the same type of year. Charlie feels he's just trying to hit home runs instead of hitting the singles like he did last year.
With 2 out now, Lecoq at third, Patek at the plate, swings and misses, strike 1.
Here's the young man who blistered the Kansas City fans yesterday. Gave a public apology today because he did it on national television with us, and who turned out to be the hero of the game yesterday.
High pump to the right side. Hunter gets out of trouble and gets out of the inning. If Fred Stanley makes the catch, and he does. So Kansas City leaves the leadoff man at third base. And after 1.5, the Royals lead the Yankees 1-0.
Super style.
Let yourself go to Pizza Hut. Go for new super style.
I expected more, but not this much more.
Our new super style pizzas are a whole lot more.
This is like pizza on top of pizza.
More of your favorite toppings than ever before.
This new pizza has style. Super style. All right.
Let yourself go to Pizza Hut. Go for new super style.
Super style. Gee, Mr. Goodwrench, I don't know. It's going ka-thump, ka-thump, ka-thump.
Ka-thump, ka-thump, ka-thump.
Yeah.
Mr. Goodwrench understands your GM car. He has special GM training and GM equipment available to help him analyze your car and diagnose the problem.
No more ka-thump. Thanks.
Keep that great GM feeling.
Mr. Goodwrench?
With genuine GM parts.
I understand.
How good is the investment information at your investment firm? Maybe it depends on the firm.
I think the market analysis group at our firm is top.
We have research in municipal bonds. We have it in corporate bonds, tax shelters.
We have access to opinions on over 1,000 securities within 2 minutes.
Who offers this kind of in-depth investment information? You know who. Sure, there are lots of investment firms, but there's only one, Merrill Lynch.
Can the Dodgers clinch in 3 the National League Championship Series tonight on ABC?
Designated hitter Reggie Jackson will lead off for New York here in the bottom of the second. Lou Piniella will follow, and then Greg Nettles. Jackson 4 for 7 in the playoff series. The season stats there. He has hit a home run and has 3 runs batted in against the Royals in the playoffs. Splitoff misses, ball 1. Splitoff will be celebrating his 32nd birthday this coming Sunday, October the 8th. One big reaching curveball that just came sweeping in. There's a story on Reggie Jackson's American League Championship Series record going back to 1971. It's truly impressive. Fastball misses. It's 2-1.
I talked to Paul about how he's going to pitch Reggie, and he just felt if you keep the ball out of the middle of the plate, you got a chance. You either got to go way in or keep the ball in the outside corner.
Just missed. Splitoff had a look. Didn't get the call from Ron Luciano, and it's now 3-1.
Interesting to see the pitcher wearing glasses and the batter wearing glasses. There was a time when it seemed almost verboten in the big leagues. Glasses on Reggie were better than the glasses on Splitoff on that pitch anyway.
Well, like Paul said he didn't want to do, he got the ball right in the middle of the plate. The count's 3-1. Reggie's guessing fastball. And it becomes a lot easier.
Lou Piniella at the plate, and the sound out of the crowd is a reflection of his name, Lou. This program, an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
WABC TV, Channel 7, New York.
High fly ball. Out into right field. Cowens makes the catch, 1 out.
Reflecting back on Reggie, Jim, There was a time when I did an interview with you in Baltimore before an ABC Monday night game when you said Reggie is a designated hitter, period. The other skills aren't there. But give him this, he's the greatest hitter I've ever seen to respond to an occasion. And you're right.
Nettles inside.
Well, I've said many times, Howard, I hated to see Reggie go because he's a tremendous offensive player, and he did a lot for the Orioles while he was there. He just showed up a month late.
Hits it to left. There's the sun problem. Hurdle back. One hands it, started in, lost it, found it, made the catch.
That's where Clint hurt. Well, there's his low and away slider, and he hits it a long way. Hurdle goes back and makes a nice catch. I talked to Clint, and I asked him why he didn't play the last month, and he said he made a key error in Chicago. He had 50-some RBIs going into the month of September, which isn't bad for a rookie. Probably would have ended up somewhere close to 70, and didn't play the rest of the year.
Chambliss up there, takes ball one.
He has been the leading percentage hitter of the playoff series thus far, going 4 for 4 Wednesday, 6 for 9, 667.
On the ground to White. Frank has it, throws him out. Inning is over. Oh, we have matching home runs of the ball game by Brett for the Royals, Jackson for New York. It's 1-1 after 2.
Hey, how'd you like some free gasoline when you fill up?
I'd like it a lot.
Change to new Quaker State Sterling motor oil.
You're telling me an oil change?
We'll get you better gas mileage. See, Quaker State Sterling is a whole new kind of oil, specially blended to lubricate better than regular oils. Less friction, so your engine will work less hard.
And use less gasoline.
It'll be like getting extra gas for free. Change to new Quaker State Sterling. It's like getting free gas with every tank full.
Protecting your car radiator against freezing up when it's freezing outside, that's the mark of Xerex. Xerex Antifreeze. Protecting your radiator against boiling over when it's boiling outside. That's the mark of Xerex. Protecting your radiator against rust no matter what it's doing outside. That's the mark of Xerex. Three-way protection all year long. That's the mark of Xerex.
Here's how to get traction in bad weather and a smooth ride in good weather with one tire. Start with the body of a long-wearing radial with 2 steel belts for strength. Add a new computer-designed tread for traction on snow and ice. And a center rib so you ride smooth all year long. The Kelly Navigator Radial. Put it on, keep it on. Kelly Navigator Radials. They'll get you through. Kelly Springfield. We're out to change America's tires.
Tonight here on ABC, game number 3 in the National League Championship Series from Los Angeles. The Dodgers sweeping the Phillies in Philadelphia, and Tommy John was sensational against the Phillies yesterday. So the Dodgers go home with a 2-zip lead against the Phillies. Frank White leads off for Kansas City. Hunter, curveball, outside corner, strike 1. Brett's on deck, and Hal McRae will follow.
Now that's the pitch to watch for against the right-handed hitters.
Reach for it, taps it back to the pitcher. 1 out.
And against the left-handed pitch hitters, let's see now if Catfish settling down gets that fastball the tail away from them, Jim.
Well, his key, like I said before, is that he got behind Brett, he hit a home run. He got behind Lecoq, he hit a double. And he and Splitoff are the same type of pitchers. Paul Splitoff pitched a game against us, beat us in Baltimore this year. The hardest pitch he threw was 83 miles per hour. So you get the idea that he's a controlled pitcher. And he got behind Reggie Jackson 3-1, and he hit a home run. So the key to them being successful today is throwing strikes, getting ahead of the hitter. The same pitch that Splitoff threw to Reggie that he hit out 0-0 probably would have been a fly ball to center field.
Brett hits it well again. Rivers turns his back, goes back. It is gone. Brett is 2 for 2.
Nobody ever accused George Brett of having that kind of consistency of power.
Well, it's a 1-0 fastball. It wasn't that bad a pitch, except it ended up in the right field seats. I think you said it best when you said the man is a natural-born hitter.
Oh, he's an exceptional hitter. One of the best in baseball. Led the league 2 years ago, capable of leading it at any time.
That's in the crowd, out of play for Hal McRae.
If Rod Carew is taking a year off.
Most home runs ever hit in a championship series game was Robertson of the National League, Pittsburgh. He had 3, but George Brett now has tied the American League Championship Series record at 2, and they're successive. 1 ball and 1 strike to Hal McRae. Shot to right and lined sharply to the crowd. Foul ball. It's 1-2. New baseball. Let me tell you that this telecast presented by authority of Major League Baseball, intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of the game without the express written consent of Major League Baseball prohibited. And that's another foul ball.
You just saw a tight shot of Jim Catfish Hunter. What a remarkable man he's been. It doesn't matter which team you're a fan of. Everybody respects this man.
Outside to make it 2-2 on Hal McRae with Amos Otis on deck.
As one of the great pitchers of his time and as a person, given up for dead. He beat the dead shoulder and diabetes in the same year.
Whoa, McRae checked on it, and it's on the corner for call, strike 3.
And this is what's going to make Catfish successful. He throws the fastball. Look at the control. It's right on the corner. McRae thinks it's a ball. Strike 3. See you later.
The plate is 17 inches wide. Catfish throughout his career has never needed that. If he's right, he only needs 2 inches. The rest is black. Right, Jim?
Actually, I had an umpire tell me that the plate's 23 inches wide because the ball is about 2 3/4 inches, and when you pick the ball on the outside of the corner, it makes it even bigger. Doesn't seem that sometimes when you don't have your good control.
Otis, big swing for strike 1. That was Catfish's first strikeout of the ball game. 2 out now. Is that 2 out? White led off. Then McRae struck out looking. In between, you had the second successive home run by George Brett. Darrell Porter's on deck. That pitch way upstairs.
Looks to me he's going to have to pitch around George Brett. Might be a better idea to walk him.
You might be right. Well, this is a lineup that has been so successful for Kansas City.
That's right. And you know one thing, Catfish doesn't give in. He rarely ever walks a hitter, Jim.
Well, I think he better think about walking George. Brett has never hit a home run off me. I just throw him fastballs away, and he doubles and triples to left field. I found that the best thing to do.
Otis now with 4 stolen bases has put himself in the American League Championship Series record book. Previous record was 3 by Campa Campaneris when he was the Oakland A's. 3-1 to Amos. Yogi Berra is on the phone and using the walkie-talkies. That's the placement of the defense for New York. Amos is on with a walk. First one in the game by Hunter. So Amos, who singled and stole second, then was thrown out by Rivers trying to advance on the fly ball by Porter. Let's see if Amos is running again with 2 out. That was a downtown swing by Porter.
But it was a good pitch. He had it down there.
Well, Darrell has some power. He hit 18 home runs this year, and he can pull the ball, and this is a good park for left-handed pull hitter.
1-1. Umpires are Bill Kunkel at first, Dave Phillips at second, Terry Cooney at third, left field line Lou DeMuro, and right field line Rich Garcias, and back of the plate Ron Luciano, the big man. Kenny Clay up for the second time in the ball game. Porter hits it to right center field. Rivers on the move. Reaches. He trapped it. And he's hobbling, and the Kansas City runners are moving, and they're going around. Amos Otis all the way to third. Porter to second.
Look at it again, Jim.
to me he caught that ball.
It's so easy to second guess, but from our evidence on this replay, it appears that Rivers caught that ball.
You can't fault the umpire because he's out there. He just apparently didn't see it the way you can see it on TV.
And I'd like to emphasize again that Rivers is a man who's playing hurt. As Keith pointed out, he's hobbling. Look at this angle. He quite apparently caught that ball. But there's nothing you can do about it. It's a judgment call.
What? That's the third angle look at it now.
I think that may be the best angle of all.
I don't see the ball coming down out of the glove after he scooped it.
Nope.
Whatever.
So it goes.
Amos Otis is at third now. He just took off and kept going with 2 out, and Porter hammered into second.
The NFL is studying instant replay. Maybe Major League Baseball should too.
Got to be a double for Porter, and Pete Lecoq is up now with 2 out and 2 on. Lecoq had a double to lead off in the top of the second inning. That pitch is ball 1.
Kind of get the feeling the way he pitched him last time that he will be pitching on the outside corner or walking him.
Outside. If he walks him, he will look at Clint Hurdle, the rookie.
He may not. Bob Lemon is not going to take a lot of time today. This is too critical a game.
Otis way down the line at third, and that pitch is high and outside. It's 3 balls and no strikes to Pete Lecoq.
On the other hand, here, I think Whitey Herzog may let Pete Lecoq swing away 3-0. He probably feels the same way that we just said, that he might not be in there. Lindblad has joined Clay in the bullpen for New York. That pitch is in for a strike. Pete did not have the green light. He did not offer.
It's easy to say that instinctively Rivers should have thrown the ball in to stop.
Outside, ball 4. Bases are loaded with 2 out.
To stop Porter from taking the extra base, and Otis too, perhaps. But Rivers was so caught up with the catch.
With the bases full and 2 out. Strike 1. There was the challenge by Hunter to get ahead, and it was successful. Hurdle obviously expecting that. Swung and missed. That's strike 2. Same pitch, same location. Hurdle has never hit a grand slam in the major leagues. And away, it's 1 and 2. Not much wind. Struck it out. The Yankees dodge a bullet, but Brett's home run gives Kansas City a 2-1 lead.
Gillette Track 2, please. Sold out again. Say, you look like a double-edged man to me. Daring, unafraid.
No, the Gillette Track 2 gives me a more comfortable shave.
Silly me. These other twin blades will fit your Track 2 handle.
Yeah, but they're not Gillette Track 2.
Yeah, but...
Sorry.
To guys who use a twin blade Gillette Track 2, no other blade will do.
Gillette Track 2, please.
Kansas to the city by the bay, along the Mississippi, all across the USA. You're looking at the one car more people buy today. This is it, America, the new Chevrolet.
The new Chevrolet, a new generation car bought and embraced by more than 1 million people in its first 2 years. Caprice and Impala for 1979.
This is it, America, the new Chevrolet.
I love our new house, but I wish we could get a break on the insurance.
You can get a break with Allstate. Our new house discount cuts 10% off.
Honey?
It's okay. 10% off? 10% off our base homeowner's premium.
Your home is 5 years old or less.
Yeah.
Then you qualify for our new house discount.
Now that's a real break.
Just a bruise. You're in good hands with Allstate.
And that's a promise from us, the good hands people.
You certainly wouldn't think that a man who's hit successive home runs was hurt, but George Brett is. Here's Howard talking with him about his injury.
George, your baseball life seems to have become a series of physical struggles. Are you completely sound for this series?
I've been as completely sound for this series as I have been all year, Howard. After the season, I got to have my right thumb operated on. I have bone chips and bone spurs in there. And earlier in the season against the Milwaukee Brewers, I slid into second base and separated my shoulder. I got to have that cut on too, so I'm looking forward to next spring training right now. Hopefully I can play 12 more games if it goes that long, and after that go in the hospital for quite a long time and then be out and rehabilitate myself and then start all over again. Hopefully I can make 162 again.
He's certainly done all right today, hasn't he?
He sure has.
The batter is Fred Stanley, playing second base for New York. Then comes Bucky Dent, and the top of the order, Mickey Rivers, with Kansas City leading on Brett's 2 home runs, 2-1, as the Yankees hit in the bottom of the 3rd inning. That's foul.
Split off one of that pitch. That's the way he pitches. He throws you a lot of fastballs away, and when you're looking for the ball away, he throws that hard slider in on your fist.
And the count is 2-2 on Stanley.
Stanley likes the high fastball out over the plate. It's about the only ball he can really hit hard.
Did he hold? No, he's gone. Stanley strikes out. Bucky Dent. Home run number 5, and those last 3 RBIs were really big in the fortunes of the Yankees of '78. Happened in the tiebreaker game. Bucky takes outside, ball 1.
Give you an idea of how effective he's been. Going into today's game, he led both teams in runs battling with 4. Jackson is now tied.
Outside, ball 2.
And he had the big 3 in Boston, my friend, with you there.
Sure did. Splitoff finds the strike zone to make it 2-1.
Dent's a good all-around shortstop. He doesn't have great range. He makes all the routine plays, and he's a tough out. He doesn't strike out much, and he gets in the clutch.
Born in Savannah, Georgia, he pops it up on the right side, and it drifts into the seats, out of play. Did you say that? Is that a direct quote?
I never said it.
I don't think you'd say it that way either.
No. Kansas City is one of the headiest clubs in baseball, and they proved it when those 2 men took advantage of Rivers.
Inside, Paul Blair has moved to the on-deck circle. He will bat and play center field for Mickey Rivers, who on his very first at-bat, when he collected a single, appeared to re-injure or hurt that hip of his, and he's going to sit out the rest of the ball game. Net reaches, punches, and Cowens drifts over and makes the catch in right field for out number 2, and here comes Blair.
There you saw Splitoff making Dent hit his pitch, right, Jim?
Well, he sure did. He made a good pitch down and away, and not very often do you get a base hit on a pitch like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, batting for Rivers.
They do not suffer at all in having Blair in center field defensively, but they may very well lose some efficiency offensively. Ball 1.
Well, don't count this guy a chump. Kansas City doesn't. They remember him well. He was a key man in the 9th inning rally that beat them a year ago in the 5th game.
Pops him up. Porter coming to the screen. Out of play.
Well, like we said the other day, since Paulie got beamed in Anaheim by Ken Tatum in 1970, he doesn't hit the right-handed pitcher as well as he does the left-handed pitcher. He hangs in there good, and a couple years ago, Earl Weaver told me I could make out my lineup. I was pitching here in Yankee Stadium, and he gave me 3 lineups. I had to choose one. I chose the one with Blair, and he had 10 putouts, got a key double, and he is the kind of man that you want in there when you got to win a ball game.
After you look at that against Splitoff, after you did that with Blair, Weaver got mad at you.
Hits that ball well to center, but Otis is there, and the out is made. So The Yankees are gone in order in the bottom of the third inning, and after 3, it's 2-1 Kansas City.
Cross Your Heart Bras, one of many popular products from Playtex, known and used by women the world over. Playtex is part of S-Mark, an American family of companies which also provides nourishing food products from Swift, fertilizers to make more food available, and energy to keep the wheels turning. S-Mark, providing over $5 billion worth of needed products annually for you and your world.
I may have a bar in my office, but Lawson has a Sony.
Darn. I thought they were going to give me a Sony.
Most people feel very special about Sony Trinitron Color TVs, probably because Sony Trinitron Color TVs are very special. You see, it's not just a TV, it's a Sony.
Dad, I have a date coming over tonight. Can I borrow the Sony?
Up here, the cold is brutal, but what better place to tell you about peak antifreeze and coolant? Peak is liquid armor against sub-zero cold, against rust, against corrosion. This winter, buy Peak protection, because nothing tops Peak. Nothing.
Texas, Oklahoma headlines regional action. Check local listings for NCAA college football tomorrow on ABC.
2-5-0 with 4 runners left on base for Kansas City. For New York, 1-2-0 and no runners stranded so far in the ball game. Al Cowens, Fred Patek, and Frank White, the bottom third of the batting order for the Royals. Here in the top of the 4th inning, Kansas City leading 2-1. Jim Hunter just low and away, ball 1 to Cowens, who hit a sharp shot to Greg Nettles at third base. The infield was drawn in. His first time up back in the 2nd inning.
Well, here we have a situation. Hunter has fallen behind in the count. I was talking to Charlie Lau. I don't know if you can get a picture of this, but when Cowens hits.
Punch to center. Paul Blair comes, reaches. Did he get it? Yes.
Well, they call that one right. Look at it again. And this time the umpire had position, and he could see the catch very clearly.
That came closer, I thought, to being trapped than the catch that Rivers
did. It really looked that way, but again, the white was on the glove.
Second baseman Dave Phillips was right there to call it. Strike 1 now to Fred Patek.
Pretty, I think, thought that ball was high. But as I was saying, Charlie Lau was saying that guys that keep their feet together are good fastball hitters. Close together. And you'll see when Freddie stands up there, and he's a better high fastball hitter. And Cowens is the same way. And like I said, everybody's been pitching Cowens differently this year, and he didn't have quite as good a year.
2 balls and 1 strike to Freddie Patek.
Not only does this team have great team speed, but up and down the batting order, they've got good, sound hitting. Anyone can hurt you.
Well, Freddie proved that by hitting a 2-run home run the other day.
Right.
When he hit the grand slam off me, I was shocked. I mean, literally shocked.
He's got occasional power. You can't lay it into his groove either.
Well, the biggest thing with Freddie is you don't want to walk him, because he usually is close to leading the league in stolen bases every year.
38 this year. So Hunter did.
With 1 out, Patek with plenty of speed on first base. Frank White up. White may not hit you the big average, but he's a good contact man. He has a long look at the third base coach, Chuck Hiller, as he comes to the plate.
He's a beautiful athlete. He really is. He's improved every year. And now, despite the fact that he doesn't hit 300, he's gotten it up to 275 for the season. He's not a home run hitter, but as Keith says, he makes contact, and he can manipulate the bat, Keith.
He can.
Hit behind the runner, hit the ball where it's pitched.
Very good with the bunt, too, and Nettles is in on the grass at third base.
Freddie Patek likes to steal on the first pitch. He doesn't waste any time.
White is also patient. He's walked 3 of his. That's pulled, and it is close, almost in the corner.
Patek was already around third.
But he will go back now as Hunter, having a little trouble keeping the ball in the strike zone, has walked 3 of the last 6 batters.
A break for Hunter. And walking 3 of the last 6 batters is normally a telltale sign for Catfish, who relies precisely on location. Placement.
Lindblad and Clay up again in the bullpen for New York. Goose Gossage, well rested, has not pitched in the playoff series as yet. His last work was Monday in Boston. There the right-hander Clay and the left-hander Lindblad. And White swings and misses on a good breaking pitch. And Catfish is ahead of him, 2 strikes.
Keith, I had the pleasure of having George Bamberger as my pitching coach for about 10 years, and he always felt that location, not velocity, was the key to pitching. Where you put the ball, not how hard you throw it.
Patek goes. White hits it high in the air to left field. Roy White shields his eyes and makes the catch, and Patek comes back 2 out.
And here comes George Brett again. A man troubled with injuries that you've heard him express during the season. Still has the bone chips in the thumb that'll necessitate surgery. A man who hit only 9 home runs all season long, but who in this critical game today is proving himself. 2 for 2, 2 home runs. 1 into the upper deck, 1 into the right center bleachers.
Catfish throws a change outside.
I doubt if we'll see Freddie Patek running now. You just don't run when you have guys that are hot up at the plate. I think they'd rather see, if he gets thrown out at second, you don't have a chance for a 2-run home run.
Change up on the inside corner. 1-1.
Bob Lemon's expression never changes.
Be nice to know what he's thinking, though.
He's thinking, let's get this guy out. Peace and tranquility.
Oh, right.
There goes Patek. Pitch right in the groove. Throw through. He's gone. Brett will lead it off. And the Royals come up the next time. So Patek is thrown out at second base by Thurman Munson. And the Royals are gone after 3.5 innings of play. As you see the throw through and the tag on Freddie Patek. Score Kansas City 2, New York 1.
Used to be when I had a job to do around the house, it was 1-on-1. Me against the house. And since the house was much bigger, I usually lost. Well, I've just changed all that with my new Black & Decker Workmate. It'll hold just about anything I want to work on, from a door to a pipe to a 200-pound dresser. In fact, my Workmate is so good at helping me work, I'm giving it Sunday off.
Workmate's available from about $45.
Secret of my success? Lots of my parts are better than your car's original parts. Know where I get them?
A beauty, isn't it? Were the parts hard to find? Let's say I had a good source.
Where do I get my parts? Who's got over 50 years in the business? Besides me.
Who should you see for your auto parts needs?
Napa. We help keep America moving.
Give me a smile with everything on it, and I'll pass it on. So give me a Coke when you smile, and I promise to pass it along. I'm gonna pass it along. The world needs a break when it's tired and thirsty. Coke and a smile is how it should be. Coke adds life. Coca-Cola adds life.
Watching those beautiful billowy clouds, Keith, and watching the Yankees so much this year, I've come to the conclusion that Bob Lemon may reside up there.
Or at least an assistant coach. It's Paul Splitoff now, pitching to Roy White, Thurman Munson, and Reggie Jackson. Roy White, 2 for 9 in the series. Kansas City with the lead, 2-1. Yankees batting in the bottom of the 4th inning. White bounces it to George Brett. 1 out. Artificial surface, that's a base hit.
Sure is, Keith.
That's true. Artificial surface. Rivers might not have thrown Otis out in an earlier inning. As Otis attempted to go from second to third, there is that instance difference between the slick artificial turf and the natural grass.
Paul Splitoff has now retired 7 in a row as Thurman Munson comes on.
Turned out you were right not to send Patek down.
I really didn't think he'd throw him out.
Foul ball.
Not the way he's been throwing.
There's tomorrow's schedule. The National League at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. The American League tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Of course, that National League is if necessary, since they play tonight and the Dodgers have a 2-zip lead in that series. Munson hits it down the third base line. Base hit. Thurman around first, heading for second. Hurdle looking for the ball. It's hung up over there in the corner, and Thurman pulls up. Base hit number 3 off Splitoff. It went right down the line. Brett could not get to it, and it went down in the corner and got hung up, apparently in the tarpaulin. And by the time Hurdle and Patek could get to it, Munson was on second base, and the batter is Reggie Jackson, who hit a long home run in his first time to the plate. He has 5 American League Championship home runs. And now another look at it. As you see, Brett just could not quite flag it. Hit the flag, the bunting for it, and stopped. So here's Reggie now. His 5 playoff series ties the overall record of Sal Bando, also with 5, and the first pitch is fouled away by Reggie. That pitch, Jim Palmer, from Splitoff to Jackson was up and over the plate.
Yeah, but it was out of the strike zone, and I've had a lot of success with him by just trying to get ahead of him. He is not a good guy, like he showed you before, to get behind. His bat just gets a little bit quicker. He can afford to guess.
Munson off second. Hit to the hole to left field. Here comes Munson to the plate. Hurdle will not make a throw on him, and we're tied at
2. He has to be exasperating to the opposition because the consistency of his production is almost beyond description under critical circumstances. Look at it again. Went right with the pitch, Jim.
Well, he made a good pitch. It was down. Of course, Reggie's a low ball hitter. He kept the ball in the ballpark, but Reggie is awfully strong, as he showed you when he hit that home run, and he can hit the ball down and away, but he will keep it in the park.
And Reggie didn't try to pull it. He went right with it.
Well, Reggie's hitting awfully well, as you said, and you know, every time I talk to him, I go down there, he just feels so confident, and when you're swinging the bat or if you're pitching well, things come easy.
Lou Piniella up now. 1 out, and the score is tied at 2. Low blocked by Porter.
Excellent play by Darrell. Keeps Reggie at first.
Jackson in this championship series of 78, 6 for 9, 2 homers, 5 runs batted in.
It's ridiculous.
It's a career for a lot of folks. Outside. Now you get the bullpen for Kansas City. That's the big right-hander, Rich Gale. So effective early, not so late. Ball is pulled to the corner. Hurdle is over. Flags it down. Jackson going to third. And he's there. Piniella take a turn. Kansas City throws it in the crowd. Jackson will score. Yankees lead 3-2.
Well, that's the very kind of play that upset Whitey Herzog when the Royals, were crushed lost on Tuesday night. Kansas City have to play a tight defensive game to beat the Yankees, and the Royals know it very well. They did not on Tuesday night. Now watch this. Reggie runs past second. Now he wants to go back. He waves Piniella back because Pinella's coming towards second. Piniella turns and goes back. And now Kansas City with the errant throw over first base into the boxes behind first. That enables Jackson to score. Not typical Royals play.
Pitch to Nettles is high inside for ball one. They really, truly could have had a play on Reggie.
They could have, yes.
Well, they definitely had one on Nettles if he makes a good throw. And who said he couldn't run the bases?
Piniella at third. Greg Nettles the batter.
Excuse me, I meant Piniella.
High in the air. Hurdle looking up into the bright sun. Makes the catch. Not the greatest arm in town, but he's got a great throw. It's off the mark. Slide. He is out. Piniella is blowing his back. So is Chambliss. Called Piniella out at the plate. It was a good, strong throw by Hurdle, but it was off the target. Now you have a look at it.
I think it's going to show that he's safe.
I'm not so sure at all.
I'm not either.
Let's look at it from this angle. Tell you this, Luciano's not going to take any nonsense.
By the time this day is done, you'll turn a mountain of canvas and a truckload of living dynamite into one of the world's oldest fantasies, the circus. Now comes Miller time. Time for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer, Miller beer.
If you're an average driver, you'll use 31,000 gallons of gasoline during your lifetime. That's enough to drive from the Earth to the moon twice. Bell System Yellow Pages tells us exactly where we can find what we're looking for. So there's less driving around wasting gas. When it comes to saving gas and dollars, it brings you back to Earth. When you need to know who, what, where, when, and why, let your fingers do the walking through the Bell System Yellow Pages.
Think of yourself in a special way in the new Monte Carlo from Chevrolet. Think of yourself behind the wheel, enjoying that special Monte Carlo feel, standing tall, feeling proud. Put a little distance between yourself and the crowd.
There's still a roar as a result of that play at the plate regarding Piniella.
Well, on that second replay we showed, let's watch the pitch.
George Brett leading off, takes strike one. McRae on deck, Otis to follow.
On the second instant replay from the second angle, it appeared Piniella had his right foot lifted up above the plate, and I thought he was out. Didn't you?
It appeared that way. We'll have a look at it. George Brett hits it to right field. Is it three in a row? Yes! Incredible!
What a performance! Yesterday as we look at it again.
Well, he tried to do something different. He threw him two breaking balls. The second one was belt high, a little bit away. And like we said, George Brett can hit.
What a performance so far by George Brett. And a crackling good ball game. What was that headline? Curses. Foiled again by those damn Yankees. Yeah. But 25 Royals didn't listen. And this team is playing its heart out.
McRae hits the ball to center field. Paul Blair's got to go back for it, way back for it, and makes the catch. So that's the first out as Kansas City is tied it up at 3-3. Let's go back to that Piniella play again and look at it from a third angle. Now watch the lead foot, the right foot. Bounces on the ground, bounced up in the air.
Right. Now, can we look at that second angle again, gentlemen, down in the truck? Chuck Howard and Chet Forty. Well, we'll try to get it ready for you at a propitious moment.
Amos Otis is the batter now on a 3-3 ball game as George Brett has hit 3 successive home runs, the first man ever to do it in American League Championship Series play.
Here it is. Here's that second angle again, ladies and gentlemen. Now watch that right foot. See it up in the air? Up again.
He missed it.
Yes, sir. Good call by umpire Luciano.
Bad slide by Lou Piniella.
Right. And he'll brook no nonsense from anybody, that gentleman.
Otis fouls it back. 2 strikes on Amos. Now watch the foot. The right foot bounces up in the air, hit the ground, and missed the plate with the lead foot. I think from this angle.
I do too. Good call.
But whatever. It's in the books. Lou was plenty hot about it.
George Brett, 3 trips to the plate, 3 home runs.
Of course, he's been losing a little distance on each one of them. They might get him out before the day's over.
Hunter would be pitching a whale of a game if Brett weren't in the lineup.
Well, if we were in Royal Stadium, the last one would have been a fly ball, but we're not.
That's right.
I found that out in '76 All-Star game here. They kept hitting fly balls to right field, and they kept going into the stands.
I know.
Yeah, everybody knows.
2-2 to Amos Otis. He's gone. Lindblad and Clay throwing in the Yankee pen. Back of Hunter. There are the history numbers as George Brett has now moved atop the list in the American League Championship Series.
An amazing performance by Brett.
Darrell Porter, the hitter, with 2 out and nobody on.
It's an amazing performance for Hunter. How hard? You think it's easy to throw 3 home runs to the same guy? You can't do that if you want to.
You're really a wise guy.
Yeah, right. That fish has thrown a lot more breaking balls. Some of them have been in good locations, like the strike 3 pitch to Amos Otis before was down the middle, but the change of speed is what fooled him.
Porter hits it on the ground to Chambers. Chris has it. Do it himself. Inning is over. But Brett's home run gets the Royals even. After 4.5 innings of play, it's all tied at 3.
This computer is the brain behind an extraordinary game from Parker Brothers, codename Sector. You use the computer to track down an unseen sub. The sub uses the computer to escape and counterattack. Your mission, be the first ship to sink the enemy sub.
Range 10, speed 9, firing range. Depth 3, fire. All right.
Codename Sector, the board game where you match wits with a computer.
Dancing on the mountain to the music of the wind, feeling free and easy in the air.
If you start or continue your college education in the Army, you'll have a chance to bring a lot more than books to class.
So much to learn, so many things to see, reasons and rhymes to find in a soldier's poetry.
Today, Kendall Oil's Car on the Street interview visits the home of
a brand new Chevy.
You are a beauty.
And I'm gonna stay that way.
How?
Good maintenance and Kendall Oil.
Why Kendall?
Simple. Every drop of Kendall is specially engineered for exceptional performance and protection, so Kendall helps keep cars out of trouble.
Hey, where are you going?
I'm late for a wedding!
Kendall means confidence.
Ask any car.
Can the Dodgers clinch in 3 the National League Championship Series tonight on ABC?
Chris Chambliss for New York, Fred Stanley, Bucky Dent. And now this is beginning to look like the Kansas City-New York rivalry, isn't it?
Exactly so. Just as we've had the past 2 years. 2 evenly matched teams, 2 competitive teams, no quitting either one of them.
2 balls, no strikes to Chris.
That was a tough one to call.
Yeah, it looked like it was a strike, but I guess can't really tell from here. Ron made a good call on that slide. He looks like he's calling a pretty good game today.
Chambliss hits it high, but it's playable. Allen, 1 out. Well, tomorrow, undefeated Texas and undefeated top-ranked Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl here on ABC. Those of you in certain regions will see Utah State and Brigham Young and Virginia Tech versus Clemson. So have some fun with college football tomorrow as well as baseball. Stanley fouls it back.
There's the hero of the moment for the Kansas City team and fans, George Brett, who astonishingly, not known as a power hitter of consistency, has 3 for 3, 3 home runs.
1 and 1, the batter.
And the guy's doing it with bone chips in the thumb that require surgery right after the season. I'll tell you, that's an astonishing performance, Jim.
Sounds like me when I go out there and tell them my arm's a little bit sore and go out and pitch a shutout. Nobody believes you then.
The 2-1 pitch to Stanley. 2-2.
And his team's obvious. Kansas City came here to play. I talked to Hal McRae the other day, and he said that he really thinks they have a good chance to win.
Stanley's gone.
But what?
But it's tough when the Yankees keep adding a player, a guy like Rich Gossage or Raleigh Eastbrook a year. He says it's very hard to compete.
Well, I don't know. Brad Corbett tried that. It didn't work. Ray Kroc tried that. It didn't work. Gene Autry tried that. It didn't work.
Yes, but they didn't have a World Championship ball club if they were adding a player to. And the Yankees know how to win. They proved that last year. They proved that this year.
I thought your implication was.
Bucky Dent hits it into the air to left field. Hurdle calls for it. Looking up into that high sky, and Sun makes the catch. And the inning is over. So the Yankees are going in order in the bottom of the 5th after 5. 3-3. Back with more after this word from our local stations.
Sunday, in part 2 of the season premiere, will the Hardy Boys be separated forever by the deadly menace from the sea? Then,
where am I?
Stranded on an alien planet, Apollo protects a frightened woman against a lone Cylon gunslinger on Battlestar Galactica.
Sunday.
Where I went with a loan from HFC. Paradise.
Household finance. People use our money to get the most out of life.
I'm Red Holzman. You know, I like the same thing about thoroughbred racing I like about basketball. Winning. You've got an advantage in thoroughbred racing. In basketball, you can't go into the locker room and look over the team. Maybe that's why New Yorkers go to the track more often than to any other spectator sport.
Who's got that plain broiled burger that is never fried? Burger King and I. Some places fry their burgers, that's something we don't do. We broil our burgers on a flame, yeah, broil them just for you. Flame broil them just for you.
At Burger King, we flame broil our burgers, never fried.
Who's got that flame broiled burger that is never fried? Burger King and I.
Name that tune tonight at 7:30.
The Lions score in a tremendous baseball game from Yankee Stadium, featuring the 3 home runs by George Brett, 3-6-1 and 3-5-0. Nobody in postseason play in the history of baseball has ever hit 4 home runs in one game. Nobody.
And he's such a great kid. He's so competitive.
It's been done in regular season play, but not in postseason play.
You know what he said to me today? He said, I watched a television show last Monday night. There were 4 Kansas City sports writers on, and they were all asked, how are we going to do against the Yankees? And they all said, we're going to lose. He said, if they only knew what kind of people we really are, we'll get them. There's not a bit of quitting us.
Pete Lecoq leads off for the Royals. Catfish Hunter throws a strike to him. Clint Hurdle is on deck, and Al Cowens will follow as we go quickly to the top of the 6th inning. Game with a good pace and exciting. 3-3 tie.
Howard, I think there's any player in the American League you could compare to Pete Rose, that type of player. Enthusiastic, it's George Brett. I mean, he's that same type of hitter.
Wow. That's an excellent analogy.
But he enjoys the game. I mean, like you said, he comes to play, and he looks like he's having fun out there.
Ball is well hit to right center. Blair going back. It is off the wall. Lecoq's going to have at least his second double. He's going for 3, and he's going to go in.
I got to tell you, I have all the admiration in the world for Catfish Hunter. But if Bob Lemon doesn't get him out of there quickly, the closeness of this ball game will vanish.
Indication of the kind of power the Royals first baseman has. He doubled to lead the 2nd inning. Now he has tripled to lead the 6th inning. And Paul Blair had a tremendous distance to go, trying to get to it at about 410 feet and couldn't come away with it. And now Goose Gossage is up in the Yankee bullpen. So the leadoff man is at 3rd with Clint Hurdle up, and he swings and misses for strike 1. There's the Goose. Nailed the lid on Boston last Monday at Fenway Park. Just outside. 1-1. There's the man that has to make the decision. Hurdle hits it down the right field line. It's a foul ball.
Oh boy, was that close. Remember, the 2 teams are presently tied. The Yankee lead run on that controversial play involving Lou Piniella. You saw our angles of replay. Make your own judgment on that call by Ron Luciano.
1-2 pitch. Struck him out with a breaking pitch. The old Goose.
Well, I think it's a slider or an off-speed slider, and the ball really went down. Made a nice pitch.
Now you've got 1 out, and Al Cowens comes up. Obviously a fly ball to the outfield of reasonable distance would deliver the go-ahead run. But Hurdle was unable to provide it. Check swing roller. Gets by Hunter. Stanley makes the play, and the runner is stuck at 3rd.
Well, Lecoq did not run, quite obviously, because he thought Hunter was going to get that ball. Thus, a slowly hit bounder to 2nd, but the quick look over to 3rd by Stanley results in the putout, and it's still at 3-3. And I indicated, with all my respect and admiration for Hunter, I think he's one of the greatest pitchers who's ever pitched. It would be wise to take him out. I apologize, Mr. Hunter.
Patek fouls it off to the right upstairs, out of play. You've got 2 out, though, after the leadoff triple by Lecoq, and he's been stuck there now as Hurdle struck out and Cowens on a check swing roller is thrown out.
What guts this man has. Right there.
Foul back here.
Let me ask you, Jim, how well do you think Catfish is thrown?
Well, he made excellent pitches with his breaking ball. I don't think he has a very good fastball. You know, he can throw the ball by a guy like Clint Hurdle because he's not a good fastball hitter. But the guy like Lecoq, he throws it down in his power, he's going to get it hurt.
High and outside.
Did you see Patek follow that pitch and look at Luciano? He doesn't want to call against him.
Well, the last time he was up, Luciano called the first pitch that was high. It was inside a strike.
Struck him off, foul tip, and Munson hangs on, and Patek strikes out. And so Kansas City, with the leadoff man hitting a triple, Pete Lecoq unable to get him home, and we remain tied 3-3 after 5.5 innings of play at Yankee Stadium.
A lot of cars are like pizzas. To get a lot on them, you gotta pay a lot extra. But not the 1979 Chevy Chevette. It comes with a lot already on it. Chevette ignores the pizza principle. With it, you get an AM radio, reclining bucket seats, console, white striped tires, and more, all at no extra cost. So avoid the pizza principle.
Hi, Richie.
Get a car with a lot already on it. Get the best-selling small car in America, Chevy Chevette. It's a lot of car for the money.
Hi, Richie.
Hi, kid.
Even if you've never held a movie camera before, you can take instant movies of moments you don't want to lose and relive them seconds later just by dropping a cassette into this lightweight portable player. Polavision, the new instant movies from Polaroid. Brilliant color movies you can see this easily, again and again.
We start with good fresh chicken. We cook it up 2 ways.
Crunchy, extra crispy.
Crunchy because it's dipped in batter twice.
Or tender original recipe.
11 herbs and spices make it taste so nice.
The Colonel is the only one who has this choice for you. It's so nice, nice to feel. So good about a meal. So good about Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Coming quick to the plate for the New York Yankees is out for out number 1 on a roller to the shortstop, Freddie Patek.
Now Jim quickly explained, because Lecoq didn't go home on the slow bounder to the second baseman Stanley, quickly explain what you're taught by all managers in the big leagues.
Well, they tell you that if the ball is hit either the third baseman, the first baseman, or right back of the pitcher, you stay at third. And even though Hunter didn't catch the ball, I'm sure it appeared to Pete that that ball was going to be caught by him.
And with Hunter's pitching in that last inning, the admiration for him must grow.
Batter is Roy White. 2 balls and no strike to Roy with Munson on deck.
And the conviction grows that Mr. Lemon is in touch with a higher being.
Right at you. Indeed. Strike.
Well, it's not too hard to get pumped up here with these fans. You know, we talked about what Freddie Patek said. I don't think he was knocking the fact that the fans did not come out.
He was not. He tried to explain to them that he was.
That's in the hole to left. Base hit for Roy White. Sharply pulled past the third baseman and the shortstop into left field. White's aboard with 1 out, and Munson coming to the plate.
What you were saying was that Patek was trying to explain to the fans of Kansas City he wanted the kind of enthusiasm from them from the first inning that these Yankee fans have had.
Well, I think he wanted them to have the enthusiasm as they had in the 8th and 9th inning when they were ahead 10-4.
Catfish is an accomplished bubble blower, as you can see.
He blew some bubbles in the last inning.
Sure did. Burst some, perhaps.
I think we're going to see a hit and run somewhere in this count.
0-1, high and away. Bird and Mingori are up in the Kansas City pen. Bird right-hander, Mingori left-hander. Both worked in the opening game. Left-handers Mingori, right-handers Doug Bird. There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Thurman Munson, 1 out, and Roy White at first base in a 3-3 ball game. Yankees are batting in the bottom of the 6th inning. There goes White. Munson swings, fouls it off down the right side. And Roy will come back.
Exactly what Jim said, the hit and run. White was off and running. Thurman skilled at protecting the runner, going where he should to right field.
Well, it makes it a lot easier for him to do that with a sore shoulder. He said the biggest problem he has swinging is getting the top hand. And when you get top hand, that means you're pulling.
You know, he had 2 injections into that shoulder in 1 day.
Well, he may feel better if he got cortisone and some kind of xylocaine. It usually takes about 48 hours to work.
The pitch is just inside. This is an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
WABC TV, Channel 7, New York.
Reggie Jackson waiting on deck. 1 out, 1 on. Munson at the plate. Hits it to left center field. It is a Don Quayle. It is in there. And Roy White goes around the third.
Well, Munson has to be feeling a little better about things. 1 out of 10 going into this game. He's connected for a double and a single and 3 trips to the plate. Right over Hurdle's shoulder. Look at that camera angle. And the ball not reachable. Just past his outstretched grasp. And Mr. Jackson up, Keith. The other Mr. Jackson.
Yes, sir. A home run and a single. He has now the career RBI record for championship play of 14. The old record was 13 by Tony Perez of Cincinnati.
Well, this is a perfect situation for Reggie. They're not going to throw him a whole lot of breaking balls, and maybe exception to the hard slider because he has the hole at first base.
Ball is hit to center. Back goes Otis. Back goes Otis. Makes the catch.
Great catch.
Oh, the tag by White. He comes to score. The Yankees lead 4-3. It was a great catch by Otis.
A really great catch as Kansas City hangs in there because Jackson, as he left the plate, thought he had it. But still another home run. And Jim, you called it perfectly as to the kind of pitch Splitoff would have to throw.
Well, he doesn't have very many avenues there. You have a man holding the runner on at first. You don't want to throw him a slow breaking ball. You have to go after him. And like Reggie said, he's swinging the bat very, very well.
So Reggie has 3 RBIs on the day. Even with Brett in that department, but Brett has the 3 home runs. And again, an indication of what a great all-around versatile ball player Amos Otis is.
Lou Piniella is at the plate. 4-3 New York. The heroics of Amos Otis and center on that drive by Jackson at 415 feet. Still not able to contain the run. That ball is hit up the alley. It's in there for a base hit. Munson headed for third. Collins has the ball. The relay to Frank White. And Munson holds at third.
In a subtle way, Jim, I think the fans are seeing the skills of this fine Kansas City team. Because Cowan was over there like a shot. Cut the ball off. Otherwise, Munson would have scored, holding it to a 1-run ball game.
Well, here's your pitch, and it looks like a changeup, which is not a pitch that he throws very often. He said he just throws it to a few hitters. He got it in the middle of the plate. Piniella hits the ball very well in the alleys. You'll see Collins come over. The reason he's a good outfielder is he's got tremendous speed. He's got a good arm, which is exactly what you need on the artificial turf in a city like Kansas City.
Beating us a mound.
Excuse me, it wasn't bad on the regular grass right then.
Well, it's a lot easier to play the outfield on the regular grass because the ball just doesn't get through you by you as quickly.
4-3, New York lead. Blair led off, grounding to short. White then singled. Munson singled. Jackson's long drive brought White home from third base. Now you have Munson over at third off Piniella's single. Lou is at first. The batter is nettled with 2 out. Hit toward the hole at first, gloved by Lecoq. He does it himself, and the inning is over. But the New York Yankees get the go-ahead run, and after 6, take the lead over the Royals 4-3.
Samantha Agar for the 1979 color track by RCA.
Remember this simple color test? My eyes are green, my hair is auburn, and my dress is vivid red. I said that 2 years ago to introduce you to the color track system. From the first, it was a remarkable development in color television. Now it's even more remarkable. RCA's new color track is designed to bring you the right color even more automatically than before. So, look again. My eyes are green, my hair is auburn, and my dress is bright blue. Those are the right colors. And getting the color right, even more automatically, is what the 1979 color track is all about.
Before you see the color track system grabs it, aligns it, defines it, sharpens it, tones it, and locks the color on track.
See the new 1979 color tracks with channel lock tuning. From 19-inch table models to 25-inch consoles, they're the best equipped, most automatic color tracks yet. And they're on display now at your RCA dealer.
RCA is making television better and better.
Here's the official 1978 World Series souvenir program, the same one sold at the ballpark. A collector's item which commemorates the 75th anniversary of the World Series. Send check or money order for $2.50 to World Series Program, Box 666, San Francisco, California. It's filled with World Series glamour, history, and statistics. Send check or money order for $2.50 to World Series Program, Box 666, San Francisco, California, 94101.
The preceding was a message on behalf of Major League Baseball.
Tomorrow, a great lineup of college football. Headlining regional action, a battle of the undefeated. The #1 ranked Oklahoma Sooners take on the 6th ranked Longhorns from Texas. Other games include Virginia Tech at Clemson and Utah State at Brigham Young. Check local listings for NCAA college football tomorrow on ABC.
Rich Goose Gossage on in relief of Catfish Hunter for New York as Kansas City comes up in the top of the 7th inning. The numbers on the year reflected there by Gossage, that 2.01 earned run average is impressive. And last Monday against the Boston Red Sox, he was the guy who slammed the door on the Red Sox. He led the American League in saves with 27. He's had 10 saves and 2 wins over his last 15 games, allowing only 5 earned runs in his last 16 appearances. ABC's World News tonight comes up following the baseball game.
I think the point must be emphasized that the Kansas City outfield, by its play, has kept this game in hand. They've still got a rattling good chance to win it, trailing by only 1, while lesser outfield play could have had them much further behind. Jim, is that fair?
Well, they have a good outfield. They have to play on the turf. And also, you have a guy, Gossage, coming in here now as a fastball pitcher, and Kansas City is definitely a fastball-hitting ball club.
Frank White will lead it off, and George Brett to follow with Hal McRae, the 3rd hitter.
Excuse me, Keith, but Gossage does throw the ball awfully hard, though. He throws it somewhere between 92, 95 miles per hour.
Punch down the right side, it's foul. 2 strikes. I'll tell you, White came up swinging, didn't he?
Well, they like the ball up, out over the plate, and Gossage is not exactly a controlled pitcher. He rears back, and I get the impression that he tries to throw strikes, and he tries to throw the ball as hard as he can.
Look at White's career average against Gossage.
Popped him up. Shortstop Bucky Dent. 1 out. Now here comes the man, George Brett, who has hit 3 successive home runs in this baseball game. No one has ever hit 4 in postseason play. Only 4 players have ever hit 4 in the regular season. Mike Schmidt, Rocky Colavito, Lou Gehrig, and Robert Lowe.
I realize that it's supposed to be fun, and some of the fans are booing George Brett. But even in fun, how could you do it?
1-1. The count on Brett when he hit his home runs in the 1st inning, the count was 1-1. The 2nd inning, it was ball 1. In the 3rd home run, it was strike 1. It is 1-2 as he leveled on a fastball from Gossage.
Throwing at that velocity, the likelihood would normally be, wouldn't it, Jim, that Brett would hit to left field, not to right.
Well, that's the key to pitching in Yankee Stadium, get him to hit the ball that way.
Ball is hit to right center, but he did not get all of it. And over there to make the catch is Paul Blair at the warning track. You could tell there was not the sharp crack when he hit the ball, but even so, he hit it 375.
He really did. I was amazed he got around on it that way, Jim.
Well, the minute he gets 2 strikes on him, he's just trying to make contact, but he is obviously swinging the bat good. Just when Gossage gets ahead of you, you really don't know what's coming, because he does have a good sharp slider.
McRae hits it to the right side, and that is foul, and that had home run distance.
I'm with you, Keith.
He also hit ball 1 foul. Taps it back to the mound. Gossage better hurry. Got it. So Goose comes in, gets Kansas City in order in the top of the 7th. And the score, going to the bottom of the 7th, 4-3 Yankees.
Good friend.
Here he comes.
Tonight is kind of special.
Hey, we almost gave up and sent out for pizza. Sorry. All I could get were lobsters and Lowenbrow. All I could get were lobsters and Lowenbrow. Well, it's the last party of the summer. I figured I'd shoot the works.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Well, like the song says, here's to good friends.
Texas, Oklahoma headlines regional action. Check local listings for NCAA college football tomorrow on ABC.
Chris Chambliss at the plate for New York in the bottom of the 7th inning. Takes that pitch low, and it's 1-1 to the Yankee first baseman, who is hitless in 2 trips today. But in game 2, he was 4 for 4, all singles. Hits it out to left field. The sun right now is behind the cloud. No trouble for Hurdle as he makes the catch. Red Stanley comes up, and then it'll be Bucky Dent. In this ball game is struck out swinging and struck out looking, and he hits it well to left. Hurdle on the move, hauls it down. 2 out.
Hurdle's doing a good job out there. From that time, look at what we have for you tonight. Philadelphia against the Dodgers. Lasada of Norristown, Pennsylvania, from high on the hill, hoping to lead his team to a sweep of the Phillies. We'll see it right here. 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific on ABC.
Bucky Dent, he hits the ball to left field. Hurdle holding his ground, and looks like Clint's going to have all 3 putouts here at the bottom of the 7th, and he does. An easy inning for Paul Splitoff. The score remains after 7, 4-3 Yankees. Back to more baseball after this word from our local station.
People say the most interesting things to David Hartman and the Good Morning America family.
Divorce, not force, if you're having trouble sexually.
I have 6 grandchildren I've never seen, and it breaks my heart. I'd love to see them.
Don't miss Good Morning America. You'll miss something.
Weekday mornings on ABC.
Toledo? Sure. Overnight?
Promise them anything.
Tomorrow? Sure.
Then call.
I think we have a transmission problem here. New pilot, John!
At AMCO, we'll put you and your car back together again. We test drive your car with you in it. We examine the pan with you watching, so you know the job we recommend is the right one. At AMCO, we'll put you and your car back together again.
I got you a new set of keys.
Reggie Jackson. An outstanding World Series, 3 home runs in 1 game.
Now that was a day I'll never forget, and it helped me to get my own candy hit. Reggie, with a rich caramel center, lots of fresh roasted peanuts, and a super chocolatey covering. Reggie, the candy they named after me. Reggie, you taste pretty good.
Name that tune tonight, 7:30.
For Kansas City, in the top of the 8th inning, it'll be Amos Otis, Darrell Porter, and Pete Lecoq. The hitting heroes for the Royals today so far have been Brett with his 3 successive home runs, Lecoq with a double, a walk, and a triple. And don't forget that Lecoq was left standing at 3rd in the top of the 6th inning with nobody out. He was over there, and they could not get him home.
Up to this point, and Catfish Hunter rose to that occasion, that's been perhaps the turning point of the game, up to this point.
Gossage, strike 1.
And for all of you looking in, at least 2 Royals must get on for George Brett to get up again in this game.
Strike 2. Oftentimes, when Goose Gossage has a lot of rest, he has trouble finding the strike zone, but today that is obviously not the case.
Well, Minnesota does not like the hard throwers. He does not play against two pitchers in the American League. One of them being Nolan Ryan and the other one myself. I don't know why he included me in that category, but he just takes the day off.
That's foul.
How many strikeouts do you have this year, Jim?
Not enough.
Gossage against the Royals, however, on the minus side, as you see. Hit to right. Piniella on the move. Can't get it. In the corner. Otis going to second. He's in, standing.
So, very quickly, the tying run in scoring possession. And what is past may be preview in the light of his past record against Kansas City.
And remember, this is a guy that can fly. Great speed on the bases. Piniella goes deep in the corner chasing the ball. Slid by him. Amos went in easy at second. Darrell Porter doubled in 3 trips. Punch to left, base hit. Here comes Otis. Outfield a little soft. Amos will score. We're even at 4.
Didn't take long, did it? Anybody doesn't respect this Kansas City team for what it is crazy. Look at it again.
He throws the ball in the middle of the plate, which, like I said, he doesn't make real good pitches, and Porter doesn't hit it real good. In fact, Otis didn't hit it real good either. They just hit it in the right spots. And I'm not sure. Like I said, Bamberger did say the most important thing is not velocity, it's placement of the ball.
Location.
Pete Lecoq is up now. And the pitch is high and away. Again to say it, Lecoq has doubled to lead the 2nd inning and tripled to lead the 6th inning.
And unless there's a double play, George Brett gets up again.
Swing and a miss on an eye-high fastball. Nettles is inside the bag defensively at 3rd for Lecoq, who has a history of pulling the ball. But the left fielder, on the other hand, is playing him close to the line. And he fouls it off on the left side.
All right, you see the outfield as we pan across. There's no intent here to give Gossage anything other than the credit he deserves. But, and let's watch the pitch, we'll develop more.
Struck him out on a 1-2 pitch.
When a relief pitcher, Jim, has a record of 10-1 and 11 loss, figures in that many decisions, he is giving up runs on average.
I would suppose so, unless he did come in a lot of tie games.
On the other side of the coin, Raleigh Fingers had 37 saves and had a lot of losses.
Inside corner. John Hurdle with a swing and a miss for strike 1.
It's well, Gossage, I think, got a lot of his losses early in the season when he wasn't pitching very well.
Outside.
I think overall that's fair.
He's done a great job for him probably the last 2/3 of the season.
But these kinds of figures are one of the fascinations of baseball.
Slices it foul to the left side. Porter hangs on at first base with 1 out and 1 in. And the tie score 4-4. Outside. Even at 2-2.
What's unusual about the Yankee defense is normally in late innings in a tie ball game, you have to guard the lines because that's where you have doubles. And Nettles is way off the line, and Hurdle can hit the ball that way.
It's foul back.
As we pan the infield, watch Chambliss. He's holding the bag, of course, against the runner. But Nettles is giving the line, as Jim Palmer said.
Out, it's going to drop in right center field for a base hit. And Darrell Porter circles to 3rd. Single for Hurdle.
So Clint Hurdle, who struck out twice previously and had a sacrifice fly, continues to plague the Yankees as they continue to pitch him in the way exactly opposite that their scouting report dictates. Both teams, as you know, have been closely scouting the other all season long. Scouting reports, they're going to stay with Gossage. No activity in the Yankee bullpen. And careful scouting reports are prepared. The Yankee report on Kansas City was prepared by Harry Kraft and Jerry Walker, a former Baltimore Oriole pitcher. Willie Wilson, the man who made the contact with Munson on Wednesday, Keith, now running for Clint Hurd.
He will probably stay to play left field. He has tremendous speed. Cowan's the batter now with 1 out. And Darrell Porter at third, Wilson at first. The ball is hit on the ground to the shortstop. Bucky Dennett handcuffs him. They get Wilson at second base. The run scores. And Kansas City takes the lead 5-4.
This is some ball game.
Well, here he makes a good pitch. He hits a grounder. And this is where your speed pays off. Even if he could have gotten the ball on balance, Wilson's getting down there. I doubt if Stanley would have got a throw off.
I think Willie was late getting the start, too. Because with it, even with his tremendous speed, they were able to get him. And Bucky Dent stayed with that thing and fought it all the way to get one of them in. But the run came home, and the ball is loose at the plate. And the runner, Cowens, advances. So with 2 out, Al Cowens now at second base as you see the line score here in the top of the 8th inning.
So this quickly has this Kansas City team come back.
Jim Hunter now is no longer a pitcher of record as the pitch by Patek is fouled off into the crowd out of play on the right side.
And while I don't suppose anything could emulate the classic of Monday at Fenway Park, attention, anticipation, excitement, execution, this game in its own way is at least resembling.
The pass ball credited to Munson for the advance of Cowens. It's over the pitcher's head. It is up the middle for Bucky Dent. Good play. The slide at first not quite in time by Patek. So the Kansas City Royals come up with 2 runs. Lead 5-4 after 7½.
Here's the new Pennzoil that saves gasoline. And Kenny Stabler, quarterback of the Oakland Raiders. New Pennzoil PZL. The Pennzoil that saves gasoline.
That's right. You know the Pennzoil in this can? It really does help you go farther on a gallon of gasoline. And it saves you oil changes, too. They call it Pennzoil PZL. I call it a winner.
Every Chevy Fleetside pickup has 2 walls of steel. We're cutting this truck in half to show you just how much steel that means. In the hood, 2 steel walls. In the tailgate, 2 steel walls. Looking at it from another angle, you'll find 2 steel walls in the fender, in the door, and in the box. Chevy Fleetside pickups are tough. Any way you slice them.
Chevy trucks, built to stay tough.
One shot, I'm good for the whole day.
Oh, no.
Oh, hi, guy. Just tried your new environmental right guard.
My right guard.
Oh, heard this formula helps keep you dry and odor-free all day.
So?
So, one shot, I'm good for the whole day.
Again?
Again? One shot, I'm good for the whole day.
Oh, no.
New environmental right guard. Don't get dressed without it.
ABC World News tonight follows the ball game as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning for the top of the order for New York, Blair, White, and Munson.
Yesterday, we told you as Gura came out for the 7th to watch closely. His record of complete games was not good. Now we advise you to watch Splitoff closely because he's completed only 13 out of 38 starts.
Robosky and Bird are in the bullpen for Kansas City. Blair pops it up. Calling is Frank White, the second baseman. That's 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning for New York. Splitoff only threw 4 pitches in the 7th to get the side out.
Well, he must be throwing good because he got behind Paul Blair right there and then threw him a fastball kind of in the middle of the plate, and he popped it up, which usually means the ball's jumping.
Outside to Roy White. Roy has scored at a single in 3 trips. Fouls this one back. Roboski, the left-hander, and Doug Bird, the right-hander for Kansas City. Roboski worked briefly in the second game. Struck out Jackson looking to end the game. Change up is low. 2-1 now to White. There's Thurman Munson waiting. It's up the middle for a base hit. Roy White with his second hit of the ball game.
White hardly needs additional comment. We've talked about his dependability ever since the series began.
Herzog to the mound. That may be it.
Yep.
I would think Doug Bird with a right-handed batter coming up, and that's who it is. Bird gets the summons from the bullpen. So Paul Splittorff will not go the distance again, but he's pitched very well, and he leaves the pitcher of record with the Royals leading 5-4.
We cooked something special for dinner.
About half the house.
Now what? We can't stay here.
Can the insurance help?
That takes time.
Allstate helps right away. Our first concern is to take care of you.
Here's an advance for food and a place to stay.
Allstate Homeowners Insurance takes care of the damage and you.
Can we get a place with a kitchen?
Sure. But let's eat out tonight.
Help when you need it. That's Allstate.
And that's a promise from us, the good hands people.
He's a lover.
You know, you made one mistake with me. What? Breaking up.
He's a kidder.
Where did you get this guy?
Hello.
Daddy, will you sing us a song?
He's a father.
I think I've broken the cage.
He's a private eye. And he's got style. Richard Dreyfuss in The Big Fix. Rated PG.
Now playing at a theater near you.
Good old Charlie, that's me. Somebody's got a dead battery and they call good old Charlie, and I jump-started. Rain, snow, day, night. Well, this time I tell them, get your own Die Hard.
The maintenance-free Sears Die Hard has extra power to start your car when most batteries won't.
This is the last time.
Thank you, Charlie.
Oh, anytime.
The Die Hard, sold only at Sears.
Doug Bird, record for 1978. Coming on in relief of Paul Splittorff, who traveled 7 1/3 innings. Now the Yankees with the tying run aboard at first base in Roy White. Thurman Munson will look at right-hander Doug Bird. 1 out, Paul Blair having popped up to the second baseman Frank White. Reggie Jackson is in the on-deck circle. Al Roboski is in the bullpen for Kansas City. It may be that Bird's job is to get one man Munson. Then we could see Roboski to face Jackson.
Munson will probably have to go to right field. They can't risk a double play. Bird has been inconsistent all year. Only 2 appearances since September 10th. A total of 8 innings. And all season he's pitched only 98.2 innings. The first time in 4 years under 100 innings. So there is no great confidence in the Kansas City managerial department in Bird. Keith is right, probably just for 1 hit.
Roy White at first base, 1 out. He represents the tying run for New York. Kansas City 5-4. Bird's first pitch to Munson is low and away, ball 1. There's Roboski. He's heated and ready to go. Jackson is waiting on deck for New York. Pitch is low. 2 balls and no strikes to Munson.
When I said Bird has been inconsistent all year, he's been inconsistent with his stuff and with his control. He's had a hard time all around. In the past, he's been very effective. Prior years.
Munson hits it high, hits it well to left. Wilson going way back, way back. It is.
Oh! The damaged man. You're getting everything, ladies and gentlemen, in this ball game, right, Jim? The damaged man. He's been fighting his battered body all throughout the series, getting his pitch. We told you about Bird. is why he is called the club professional, the captain of the Yankees. And it's still some ball game, and Kansas City comes up next inning. And George Brett gets it turned at bat, and if you count the Royals out, you're crazy.
The crowd is roaring. They want Munson out for a foul, but I doubt if he'll do it.
He's not the type, Keith.
Here he comes,
yep,
though.
He did come out. You want to know something? Just to show you how Munson has been aching all year, that's his first home run in 54 games.
Tonight it'll be Steve Carlton, the left-hander, in a must-win situation for the Phillies in Los Angeles against Dodger right-hander Don Sutton. 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific time. Al Robuski is now on the mound warming up for Kansas City. New York getting the lead again on Thurman Munson's 2-run home run at 6-5. The scheduled pitchers for tomorrow night are Ron Guidry for New York and Dennis Leonard for Kansas City.
Before this game is over, it may rival your game of Monday, Keith.
Surely well may. Except this one does not have the dimensions of that game Monday.
Exactly so.
ABC's World News tonight. Frank Reynolds in Washington, Max Robinson, Chicago, Peter Jennings, London, ABC News correspondents over the world. These are the major stories. President Carter and Chairman Brezhnev of the Soviet Union discussing possible arrangements for a ceasefire in Lebanon. We'll also cover the story involving the Shroud of Turin, which some claim is to have covered the body of Jesus Christ after his death. It'll be examined by United States space scientists to determine if the image on the cloth is that of Christ. That's ABC's World News tonight.
And Howard, it once again illustrates the importance of getting ahead of the hitter. Thurman's talking to him the other day. He said he was really frustrated because there's been a couple of instances the other day, runners in first and third. Patton threw him a hanging slider. He can't swing the bat. 2-0. He got up there. He looked for a fastball, and he hit the ball 415 feet.
Reggie Jackson comes up now. You see that he's hit a home run in this ball game already. And remember, in the 7-1 New York victory, it was Reggie's home run that put it out of reach, and he hit it off Al Robuski on Tuesday night. The crowd is hooting at Robuski as he goes behind the mound, as his coat comes to the mound, flame coming out of his eye. Nostrils flared, and here comes the mad Hungarian. The pitch is low for ball one. 1 out, 2 runs are in on Munson's home run. The Yankees lead 6-5. Yankees at bat in the bottom of the 8th inning. Ball 2.
Well, he's faced Reggie twice. He's hit a home run in the waterfall one time, and he struck him out on a curveball the other time.
He struck him out with the score 10-4. Look at this pitch again.
Well, Reggie's looking fastball, no doubt, 2-0. And he throws it awfully good.
He took some rip at it, I'll tell you that.
Well, I think Reggie would like to hit another home run here. Not too many of the guys like Grabowski's act.
He also doesn't want Brett to upstage him. Strike 2.
I'll tell you, he had a lot of mustard on that. Good pitch to it past Reggie.
The 2-2 pitch coming to Reggie Jackson. As Robuski is on the rubber and ready. 1 out for the Yankees. 2 to Jackson, but he's going to have to now.
Well, he's going to have to come in with this one, as Keith said, and Jim, you're right. Reggie is thinking of home run, nothing but.
High fly ball, left field. Wilson back there, left center, makes the catch. Reggie hit it deep, but there's a lot of room out in that valley. 2 out.
You couldn't have a faster man than Willie Wilson going for it.
Well, he hit that ball a long way. Home run in Kansas City, but like I said, we're playing here in Yankee Stadium, and the left-hander can really take advantage if he can keep the ball away and get him to hit it out there.
We'd like to alert our local stations at the end of this half inning. We will be going to a commercial and a station break, so all of our affiliates, that's what's coming. With 2 out now, and the base is empty, and here is Lou Piniella. High and away, ball 1.
You know, Keith, Munson's ball went further than the one Reggie just hit. I just can't believe it, considering Munson's physical state.
Crushed it. Pops foul back, out of play. I told you that cloud carried something when it passed over the stage. Well, it's 430 feet out there, very close to where Munson's ball went out, so he had to hit it 410 feet, hit it right at that cage. Right now, it's a 1-1 count with 2 out to Piniella, and Lou swings and misses for 1 and 2. He's looking for one himself.
Yeah, I think Lou would like to hit a home run. Lou can look awfully bad on a pitch and then hit it again. Hit a home run off the clock one time in Kansas City on a curveball over his head.
They don't apparently believe that he's going to pull Reboski because they give him virtually all of left center field. Center fielder Otis is playing in the right center for him.
I think Willie Wilson's out of position, actually. You'd think that with the right fielder and the center fielder over in right center that he'd be out in left center a little bit more.
I caution everybody looking that George Brett bats second next inning, and if anybody gets on, McRae bats too. Amos Otis gets up.
Well, Frank White leads off. We'll probably see a pinch hitter for him.
Outside corner, call strike 3. It has not been a terribly pleasant day between Messrs. Luciano and Piniella. 6-5. Yankees back after this message and a word from our local station.
We're going to show Grandma our new Chevy Malibu.
A freshly sliced apple pie called Chevy Malibu.
The 1979 Chevy Malibu has the right room, right headroom, legroom, and trunk room. The right size, new family midsize.
Looks like Bill bought himself a new Malibu.
The right ingredients, like an impressive mileage rating and a beautiful body by Fisher. It's got the right name, Chevrolet. No wonder it's a family favorite.
A freshly sliced apple pie
called Chevy Malibu.
Sunday, from New York to L.A., the only rule was win the Gumball Rally.
Used to be when I didn't have the cash for something, I applied for a loan or went without. Then I went to the Irving. They gave me John Pye, my personal banker. He fixed it so I could have credit already applied for, approved, and waiting. It doesn't cost me a cent until I use it. The Irving has several ways to get it, and John worked out the best one for me. He knows what I need and what I can afford.
Your own personal banker. That's what makes the Irving different.
All credit cards are pretty much alike. They lump your business and personal charges together. But not the new Diners Double Card. It's 2 cards. You see, like most of us, I'm really 2 people. I get 1 card for business with my title and company name, and another for personal charges. My business charges are separated from my personal charges. Diners Double Card. You'll wonder why no one ever thought of it before. Apply for the new Diners Double Card. It's like no two cards you've ever seen.
Name that tune tonight, 7:30.
The line score in this ball game, it is seesawed back and forth. Right now, New York sits on top, 6-5, and the circumstances on the scoreboard certainly favor the Yankees as the Royals send up Gary Thomason going to left field defensively for New York. Steve Braun as a pinch batter for Frank White. Then the top of the order, George Brett, and then Hal McRae. This is the top of the 9th inning.
Remember, for anybody joining us lately, George Brett has 3 home runs in this game. No pitch. Luciano out of there. Braun had stepped out of the batter's box. And one can't help but thinking about the whole history of baseball. Only 4 men have ever hit 4 home runs in a game. Lou Gehrig, a fella named Pat Siri, Gil Hodges, and Willie Mays.
1 ball and no strikes as Rich Gossage is on in relief of Jim Hunter. If he hangs on, he wins it. There's a strike. It's 1-1. Gossage will win it. Bird's home run. Pitch to Thurman Munson, the thing that swung it around. Here's the pitch. Braun did not like the call.
Well, Steve Braun's a good guy to pinch hit because he doesn't swing at balls.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
By the way, let me clarify, in modern baseball history, 4 men have hit 4 home runs in 1 game.
Braun fouls that one back, and the count holds at 1-2. Top of the 9th inning. The Yankees 6, the Royals 5.
If you were to go to the little red book, Keith, you'd see a lot of names that you never recognize. That's right.
Braun is gone. Strikes out swinging. Now Gossage needs 2 outs. There'll be 2 tough ones, George Brett and Hal McRae.
I mean tough.
He got Gossage in the 7th inning on a fly ball that was hit deep to right center, but hauled down by Paul Blair. Ball 1. Brett homered to lead the game, homered in the 3rd, homered in the 5th, and hit a deep fly ball to right center in the 8th. Foul. One ball, 1 strike. 1 out. Nobody on. Luciano walking to the dugout with George Brett. They're looking at the thumb area of that right hand, one that's been troublesome. They got a little more tape on it.
Well, got another correction. Hodges, Adcock, Mays, Gehrig, and Colavito. 4 home runs in 1 game.
Well, I don't think Gossage wants to give him anything on the inside part of the plate. Like I said before, you got a lot of room in center and left. And if it's possible, I'm sure he wants him to get him to hit the ball that way.
I think Gossage would rather pitch to Braun.
Hits it well to left. Thomason in left field. 2 out.
Frustration for the Royals, should they lose this game, would have to be tremendous. They've been through it for 2 straight years.
Outside to Hal McRae, ball 1.
Holding leads, Keith, in the late innings. Tying up 2 years ago in the 9th.
Foul ball, strike. 1-1.
Well, I think we pointed out that the Yankees bullpen is far superior to Kansas City's.
I think you touched on the key right there. We said that Bird had been inconsistent all year when he came in. Said he pitched only 1 batter.
Strike 2.
And they made 2 glaring mistakes today. Freddie Patek's overthrow, and the fact they had a leadoff triple by Lecoq, and they left him at 3rd.
Good summer.
2-2.
If it's over. win this game with Ron Guidry going tomorrow night. We'll be here, of course.
Little looper out in right field. Piniella comes, makes the catch, sitting down. The game is over.
What a way to end it, with Piniella sliding on the turf in right field, or the grass. And the Yankees with a thrilling victory that's almost becoming a pattern in the postseason play between these two teams. Ron Guidry out there to congratulate. And you can see the dismay, the chagrin, the disconsolateness of a Kansas City team that comes so close every year and that's not out of it yet, but must face the almost awesome task of going against baseball's best pitcher tomorrow night with a record of 25-3. Ron Guidry. Look at the final out again. And remember that the Royals had Pete Lecoq on third, nobody out, as Keith and Jim have told you, failed to score. That was Catfish's last inning. Gossage came in, allowed the tying run in the 8th. The Yankees rebounded.
There's the anguish of losing a ball game like this in these circumstances right there.
Gossage allowed the tying and the lead runs in the 8th. And then as we look at this again, Thurman Muntz with White on first after singling with one out in the bottom of the 8th, struck one better than 430 feet for the game-winning home. And if Piniella had slid that way safely into the plate in an earlier inning, the Yankees would not have had a problem.
There's the score, final. New York 6, Kansas City 5 in Game 3.
You know, a lot of people think Billy and I argue all the time. Actually, we agree on just about everything, right, Bill?
You betcha, George.
We even drink the same beer.
Light beer from Miller. Light's got a third less calories than the regular beer, and it's less filling.
And the best thing is it tastes so great.
No, George, the best thing is less filling.
No, Bill, it tastes great.
Less filling, George.
Billy, it tastes great.
Less filling, George.
Billy?
Yeah, George.
You're fired.
Oh, not again.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
A relief pitcher's always got to reach back for something extra. Take the bottom of the 9th. Score tied. 2 on, 2 out. The batter thinks I'm going to throw him my hard slide. But I reach back for my Levi Garrett chewing tobacco. Believe me, I've been chewing tobacco for a long time. And now that I've discovered that fresh, new flavor, Levi Garrett is my brand. So now you reach back for something extra. Levi Garrett chewing tobacco.
Dad, when are we gonna get to Grandma's?
Dad, are we gonna get to Grandma's?
Darn, I forgot to put in Prestone.
Take out the O, put in the 2. Put in the Prestone, Prestone 2.
Protect against freeze-ups and corrosion. Take out old, weak antifreeze and put in America's most trusted antifreeze, Prestone 2.
Take out the old, put in the 2. Put in the Prestone, Prestone 2.
And when you flush your cooling system, use Prestone Super Flush.
You better hurry up and rest after this exciting baseball game, because we've got more for you tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and 5 Pacific. As Steve Carlton goes to the wall for the Philadelphia Phillies. They're down 0-2 to the Dodgers. Veteran Don Sutton will be pitching for the Dodgers in the National League playoffs. ABC's World News Tonight coming up following the ball game. And once again, our final score, the Yankees win Game 3 to take a 2-1 edge in the American League Championship Series by a score of 6-5. Remember to join us tonight for the Dodgers and the Phillies from Los Angeles at 8 Eastern Time. The executive producer of the 1978 American League Championship Series is Roone Arledge. Coverage of today's game produced by Chuck Howard. Directed by Chet Forte. Our technical director, Bill Morris. Our associate director, Patty Tuitt. Join us tomorrow evening for more exciting baseball action from Yankee Stadium. Game 4 of the 1978 American League Title Series, the Royals and the Yankees at 8 Eastern Time. Keith Jackson along with Howard Cosell and Jim Palmer. Goodbye from Yankee Stadium, New York City. Game number 3 of the American League Championship Series has been brought to you by Chevrolet and Chevrolet dealers coast to coast. Travel arrangements made through and promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United built the largest airline in the free world around you. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
Sunday, the Hardy Boys face death from a menacing killer and man-eating sharks. Then Captain Apollo must protect a beautiful woman by dueling a fast-shooting Cylon on Battlestar Galactica. Watch Sunday on ABC.
As the New York Yankees widen their lead, New York City widens its investigation of the tow truck scandal that was brought to light by Eyewitness News. Roger?
Rabbi Bernard Bergman gets an unusual release from prison, and a West Side family is thrown out of their home.
Doug Bird came on in the 8th inning. All he had to do to get Thurman Munson, but Thurman got him. A humongous home run, 2 runs for the Yanks. They win 6-5. 1 game to go to get them into the World Series. Thurman Munson's first home run in 55 games. Not bad for a player who wants to get out of New York City. Whitey Herzog, the Kansas City manager, saying, I just wanted him to face one hitter. That's